King, Mike in the Night, and the Gemini crew.
Welcome all to Mike in the Night, burning the midnight oil with Mike Martins. I want to thank everyone that's listening to us from all the English-speaking world. We are targeting every English-speaking country, from Australia to from New Zealand to Australia to the United Kingdom, United States of America, and northbound to Canada. I want to thank everyone that's joining us tonight, and I want to thank that everybody that's listening to us at work tonight. I want to thank, got some shout-outs here to Fabrizio, who's in Maine, who listens to us in a carpentry, building kitchen cabinet carpentry. Thanks for having me on and streaming Mike in the Night. And I also want to talk about, we got people rolling in the comments already. Let's discuss defaults, interest rates, and recession. That's exactly what this week's show is about. It's about the great default. Recessions, what's going on? There's quite a bit. You see, Australia, what it is, I've been doing so many stories about Canada's new job creation, 50,000 jobs and 60,000 the month before. And we're looking at other things going on where China looks like it's going to default a trigger. And we're looking at, look how smoggy it is there. Is it really like that, or is it just foggy? That looks pretty bad. If it's like that, holy crap. So, Asia gets tougher on auditors. There's lots going on, guys. India is also seeing a rise in massive defaults, and they passed a new law in India for defaulting. Australian mortgage rate defaults, and they're doing such a good job at masking this massive housing issue they're having. And it's absolutely phenomenal how, like, the housing crisis, they've masked it really good and told people they even made TV series. You know those TV series that you watch, like Amazing Race and Amazing Race, and there's other ones like Survivor and Survivor and stuff, crap like that, right? So Australia, or Big Brother, that kind of crap, right? So Australia made TV series about people bidding on homes. Oh, we're going to get this tear-down bungalow for $4 million. I really need this tear-down bungalow for $4 million, or am I going to survive? So they really painted it up. Here in Canada, you got a couple of shows on CTV or City 24, CP24, penting up the you got to buy now, you'll never own, and those kind of guys. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of those guys, right? Telling people if you don't own now, you are finished. And yeah, it's It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And there's a lot of people. I got an email from somebody telling me today, hey, Mike, you know nothing. You can't even read. Why the hell do you get the privilege of talking about housing and defaults and interest rates and this and this and that? Why? And he's comparing me to other people on YouTube. These people know what they're talking about. They know what they're talking about. They could read. They could do this. They know what's a... Nah. Where were those bananas? Where were those guys when to tell you not to buy, loser? So somebody was picking me apart in an email, and this is all I have to say. Where were those guys when I was telling everyone not to buy? Where were they? Here it is. Look at this video. This was sent to me. Look at that. Look at that, people. Read this. Let's read this first one, guys. Sydney. Hold on. Let me pause this. Somebody back or saved all my videos from way... This is back in the day, guys, when I used to do an English video, then a Portuguese video, then an English video, and Portuguese video. Mind you, my Portuguese channel is at 5,000 subs now, but before I got it up to 19,000 subs, and YouTube took it down. So I just re-uploaded what they thought was left out, what wasn't in the Portuguese one. But when I did redo my English one, I lost a lot of my good stuff. So look at this. Sydney, Vancouver housing crash of 47% by 2016. So this guy's picking me apart in the emails. This was filmed in 2015. So before you tell me, oh, this and this and that, where were all your great, what do you call it, you know, housing experts then? Why weren't they telling people not to buy? You know? Where were you, you know? So where were these people when people were telling people not to buy? I was there, and I was getting egg thrown at me. Look at this. I remember this one. This one is Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand debt prison. That was when I went to Toronto like 5 years ago. This was from 2015. And oversupply coming in 2016. Look, supply versus demand illusion. Look, this one, I got a better camera. This is when I got my better camera in. Sydney, Vancouver, Auckland, London. Massive housing correction, spring 2017. I was off by a couple of years, but I knew things weren't right. I knew government propping wasn't good, and I knew things weren't going to go through the roof forever. And because there was just too much supply and demand issues that they were creating, and that was penting up the, you got pent up, what do you call them? Construction companies, labor force, got pented up, and then that created a whole huge workforce, a huge workload for the workforce. But then now there is no supply and demand issue because everyone that invested in these multi-million-dollar teardowns have retreated. So I wanted to show this to you guys because I was picked apart in an email today. I was going to read it to you guys, and I said, you know what? I don't want people to feel sorry for me because you know what? I knew this was going to happen, and this was in 2015. Sydney, Vancouver, housing crash at 40. Sydney and Vancouver were back then, were the only two cities on the radar that were way out of proportion. This is before Toronto started to rally, because this is still 2015. This is even before Toronto got in the mix. This is before the foreign buyers tax. So Vancouver was going nuts at this time, and so was Sydney. So Raven in the comments section. So let's close this. So I got a documentary I'm putting together just for fun for you guys. I'm doing it for you guys, okay? And okay, man, we're going to be talking. We're going to find out what's going on in the economy. What is happening around us? Someone told me that Zero Hedge was taken down. I got to check this out. Zero Hedge. No, they're up. Yeah, this is not, it's up. Someone messaged me 3 days ago. You know what? This yellow vest thing is severely out of control. So let's go off Zero Hedge today. We'll use Zero Hedge of the top stories right now before we get into our topic of the night. Tonight's topic of the night is massive defaults all around the English-speaking world. So if you're in New Zealand, Australia, the United Kingdom, United States, and Canada, please call me. Add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980. So before we kick off tonight's topic and have our guests on, let's find out what's going on. New Zealand threatens 10 years in prison for possessing mosque shooting video. Wow. But what if you're filming it like in a way where you wanted to use it to, you know, use it for information purposes, or to diagnose these things, or to look at witnesses, or to look at what happened. You know, what if it's, you know, people, I don't know. Chaos breaks out as yellow vests clash with French police. This is a big deal. This is they call it the Ultimum Rally. This is a big deal in France. I got someone on the ground that's emailing me. He doesn't want to come on the show. I told him to come on the show. I even told him I'll give him $50 gift card to TGIF or something. You know what I'm saying? Trump's coup in Venezuela. What you're not being told. Families are crossing the southern U.S. border in record numbers. And I'm going to tell you guys something about this. There's no record numbers, guys. And I'm going to be straight up with you guys. It's always been like this. There's no record numbers. It's always been coming into the United States like this. Social media, universal basic income, and cashless society. How China's social credit system is coming to America. Guys, I'm very scared about this. Okay, guys? The beauty of having cash, and I like cash, okay? Well, Mike, you know, you need crypto, you need gold. No, cash is awesome. Can I tell you why? Because once you remove your cash out of the bank, you're exiting their system. Once you have enough cash on hand, you're not on the system anymore. You're off their system. They don't know where you're spending. They don't know what you have. They don't know how much you have and how much you've saved over time. Once you exit the banking system and remove your cash, then it's hard to trace. And they want to abolish cash big time. Right now in Australia, they're pushing to abolish cash for the longest time. New Zealand is kind of on the fence. And then you got Canada that will just do anything the U.S. does. So if the U.S. goes cashless, Canada, like not even 3 hours after that, will just go completely cashless, right? So, yeah, cashless. You exit your money when you got cash, and that's a good way to give it to the banks. So having cash is good. So when people say, yeah, cash, Mike, you know, but you need a lot of gold and silver and this, yeah. But if you could exit. So now, let me tell you guys what I've been predicting. And I've said this on 4 shows ago, but I want to make this really clear. You will see ATM machines disappearing and branches closing. Not because of lack of funds to have them operating and the electricity bill on the ATM machine. It's not even that. It's because they want to make it harder for you to exit your money out of the system. They want to make it impossible for you to be able to exit your money out of the system. That's a big problem. That's a huge problem to be, as a matter of fact. That's a massive problem. You're gonna start seeing branches and machines disappear. Well, Mike, they make money off your withdrawals. No, but they're losing money when you're running off your money. When there's a runoff on the bank, look what's happening in France. The banks were scared when they realized that the yellow vests were proposing everyone to remove their money from the banks. The banks were scared. They put a cap on withdrawals. They put a cap on everything. And then even if you're buying groceries, you can only buy so much because they don't want you to take out more. It happened in Greece. It happened in Cyprus. It's happening everywhere. Cash is good, believe me. Cash is legal tender. Cash will be good because it's off the system, right? You're no longer in the system. Okay, Supreme Canon saying even Sweden has backed away from cashless. When the grid had a glitch, nobody had any way of buying anything. That's right. But that's what they want. They want to control. Right? Quadrillion in derivatives alone, paying with matches in the powder magazine. Yep. Sam Askey, good and personal friend of mine in the comments there. Mark of the Beast Chip says the Lost Canuck. Oh, yeah. So you guys need to understand, this is a big deal. So removing your cash from the system is king. This way the banks can't get to you. And this way, I mean, is it dangerous to have money on, like, huge amounts? Yes. But if you're worried about that, so here it is, essentially freezing out everybody who does not conform with the state's version of ideal citizen. The SCS is perhaps the most frightening control system being rolled out today. That is until you consider what's coming next. So social media, universal basic income, and cashless society, how China's social credit system is coming to America. This is a problem, guys, and we're gonna do a social credit system show maybe the week or the week after. Next couple of weeks, we'll have a few people on the show. We'll get Evan in from Thing to weigh in on it because he's in Hong Kong, right? We'll get him to cross into China for us and do a selfie video on Skype for us and show us what's happening in China. 10,000 legal California marijuana growers in jeopardy as the state faces pot extinction event. Researcher warns algos are using even controlling us. Algorithms, I guess. Housing slump, foreclosure activity jumps in Austin, Miami, San Diego, and Seattle. We'll cover that on trends in the housing market. This is today's article. People are being foreclosed on. And I actually want to save this article for the end there for I could put it on, not to forget to read it. College education has little to do with education. That's a really good one, guys. College has long been largely about certification and a piece of paper that helps sustain membership in the elite social circles. I don't think so. Back in the day, in the early years, college was a great institution for a woman to find a good husband. But nowadays, it's almost like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Paying so much money for an education that's really going to... It's who you know. It's not what you got, right? Firearms Resignation Act introduced in Pennsylvania. This bill makes no mention of how the state will enforce the law. Go figure. Tumble traffic tanks 30% after banning booty. A large volume of child porn has slipped past. Like, who the heck is putting? You know why? If you're, losers. 3 in 4 Americans remain afraid of autonomous vehicle, says survey. Delete Facebook, WhatsApp. Co-founder slams capitalistic profit motive behind the data scandals. Is Canada's Arctic drilling ban hurting its oil industry? Class warfare tax on absentee New York City property owners met with strong opposition. So there's a lot of investors that own, and there's absentee property owners. So they have to actually receive it in the mail, not the email, in your mailbox of that property. Former Obama officials ordered by judge to answer questions over Clinton emails. This is still going on. All right, we covered pretty much a pile of stuff here on Zero Hedge. All right, let's kick off what's going on with defaults. You know, let's talk about this because it's a default. Housing slump, foreclosure activity jumps in Austin, Miami, and San Diego and Seattle. Yep, across the U.S., a total of 29,382 U.S. properties started to foreclose. Proceedings in January, up more 4% than the previous month of 2%. That's a lot, people. You know how many people live in those cities? Like, what people live, but how many people own in those cities? January marked the second consecutive month year-over-year increase of foreclosure starts. More than 24 states, including Washington, D.C., posted annual increases in foreclosure starts in the states. Wow. Wow. So here we go. We're seeing it come unfold. Auto foreclosures. I bought my wife that car. But I paid for it in cash. I saved up the money. I went to the dealership. They said, how much is that car? They said it was $15,000 and something. The automatic model. Because my wife can't drive standard, God forbid. And I bought her that. It's in the driveway. I made videos on it. It's a great car. Does everything for us in the little town. But what is going? If the economy is great, why are car loan defaults at record high? So, like anytime we jump in, let's say here, right? We go here and we go to Australia. Watch this. Australia auto defaults? Nothing. Nothing. They're talking about America. I love it how Australia keeps everything under wraps. It's almost like a communist state. Penal Colony 1114, PC Colony 114. I'm in Prison Colony 111, PC 111. That's Prison Colony, Canada. PC 1112 is the United States. PC Colony 1113, the UK. PC Colony 1114, Australia. PC Colony 1115, and that is New Zealand. So look at that. Look how they don't have anything on auto loan foreclosures when the average condominium there is $1.5 million, and you're telling me no one's defaulting on autos? You gotta be kidding me. All right, guys. So let's get some first time. Let's get Steve on first because it's late and he's gonna go to bed soon. So we'll get Steve. I'm gonna see if I could get Steve here on Okay, who is McCoy's Keon? Okay. Let's do this. People commenting in the comment section there. I'm not sure what they mean by that. Kian. Waddy Watch is around. Let's get Waddy Watch. Do I have you on Skype, buddy? Let's find out. All right, let's see if we can get Steve on here. He called me earlier, but I was in the shower. Or maybe I was pooping. I'm not too sure. I was one of the two. Might have been pooping. Whew. Anyways, guys, before we kick off our guests, I want to thank everyone for watching this transmission. If you're burning the midnight oil, watching us on your skill, what is it? Someone wrote me, said they listened to me on Bluetooth on their skill work radio or skill or Makita work radio with Bluetooth. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it very, very much. And I got somebody here in New Jersey that watches me. Helder from New Jersey listens to me because there's nothing but lies on his radio podcasts. Wow. Yeah, baby. Woo!
Mikey.
Yo, what's up, buddy?
Sorry to interrupt your beautiful show. I just want to say congratulations. I didn't get a chance to say that to you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's girl time. It's my daughter. She's born. I'm happy.
Good for you, man. Good for you. Everything's okay. Wife's sleeping good.
Everything's okay. God bless. Oh my God. Thank you. Like it was good. There was no scary moments. Everything went smooth. The hospital, the transition, the exit of leaving the hospital, the whole 9 yards. It just transitioned very beautifully.
Right on, brother. Right on. I just I wanted to add something on your show today.
Yeah, go ahead.
I found out yesterday. We have a big real estate. There's two of them. There's one called Mark Ferris team, and I'm going to explain to you what happens to these two individuals. And one is called Mark Ferris, and the other one is Peggy Hill. Now, these two real estates, even though if you work for them as a real estate agent, they actually put their picture out there, not the agent. So they actually solicitate themselves, if you understand what I mean.
Okay.
It's like a pyramid. They're at the top. You're underneath. Nobody sees your picture. Nobody sees your advertising. It's all them. Peggy Hill so I can tell everybody, was on a Dragon's Den. And Dragon's Den, one of the CEOs or owners or whatever, invested in her company. If you don't sell, she'll buy your house. She started this around 2015. She was joined with another company. I think it's called K. Williams or something. I'm trying to remember the name. Mm-hmm. But she changed over to Remax recently. Okay? Now, Remax and KW Realty actually joined right now. So
Oh, so
people
they
have,
merged as one company.
yes. So this
Okay.
is what's happening, right? Because now real estate offices, real estate organizations are losing tons of money because the time they spent on putting a house on a market, and if it's been there more than 4 to 5 months, you got to remember these people don't get paid at all. So that means that house has been 5, 6 months. You're advertising it. You're putting on the website. You're taking clients there. That real estate's got his sign up or her sign up, and it's not selling.
Hmm.
So now today was interesting. I'm watching the Barry News before I got on the show, and just listening to the news, and they say, "Oh, real estate is up, resales 3% every year."
What? What?
Right.
Where? In
Uh,
1984?
That's exactly what I said. I said to my wife, "This is ludicrous, man. This is what they tell the people, 3% of every year." So they take a year before it went up 3%. Big deal. I said they're not telling the truth from the peak till now. And that's where we your show's been the foundation of reality, and everybody else is coming in to cash in. And I just can't believe it. I can't believe all these guys getting 50, 60,000 views. And meanwhile, they weren't around a year ago. Never mind 3, 4 years ago. A year ago, they weren't even existing.
Yeah. So these housing experts and showing everybody all the mistakes that were made, they're, like I told you, they're Captain Obviouses. Now, these are not housing experts. These are housing nothing. These people are nothing. You know why? Because if they were true experts, they would have gone on. They would have gone on the lam 3, 4 years ago, warning people about this before. Not coming out now and telling people what they did wrong. We know what we did wrong now, losers. It's about like, oh yeah, I did this. You could come and see us. We got 60,000 views. We got 5 million views in 2 months about housing and what's going wrong. You don't know nothing, because if you knew, you would have went back and you back in time, and you would have been telling people before not to buy nothing.
That's right. That's right. So my intake, all this, I actually ran into a builder today, the same one I did that video where, people walked away from the deposits. And he's, he was telling me directly, and I actually saw him today. And he started talking. He doesn't know I have a YouTube channel or anything. I don't advertise it to them. And he said to me, he goes, I promised the people that were trying to buy that, that you know it and I know it and everybody out there knows it. The builders depend on the people that want to buy first, and then they want to flip it. That's who the builders pray for, because then they can sell the big quantity all at once, and then they can get the second bunch to come in and sell the rest. So to me, the only way you can stop this is, you said it one way, and I'm going to say it another way. Never mind the foreign bull crap. What they should do is, if you're buying a second home, you own a home at first where you're tax free on selling that property. If you buy a second home for an investment, no matter if you're going to lose it or not, you're going to pay a 50 to 60% income tax. Meaning, whatever you get on that house, if you make 10,000, you're going to pay 5 grand back to the government. And that's how you stop these people making this an issue. Because I don't understand how we're going to get this going. You had the video, you guys were talking about it, you and Steve, the other day. Great show. I was watching it Wednesday night. And you were talking about the newspaper Financial Post putting out a 3.5 in 2026, where an average home in Toronto. So, like, really, I'd be embarrassed to put that article out. First of all, second of all, nobody is talking about the pensions. Nobody's
It's just you,
ever.
Mario. You need to be the pension guy, okay? Keep doing the pension, the housing, everything you're doing. Keep going with the pensions, and I'll back you up. Because in a year or 2 years from now, you're going to have these yahoos that are coming up about the housing market all of a sudden. If you knew so much about this, why didn't you warn the damn people if you're so smart? And then you got the you keep doing it, and I'll back you up 100%. Once all these guys start doing pension videos and what's happening to pensions, because all of a sudden something goes wrong, and then now they want to make videos and show people what went wrong. They're all Captain Obviouses. You keep doing what you're doing, and you keep plugging away.
But see, that's the thing. Now it's not even just sometimes, Mike. When you want to be not right,
Mm-hmm.
you want to be wrong, so it helps everybody, benefits. and we got on a topic the other night, and my wife had a bunch of friends over, and these are, strong, confident women in the room. They have very, big positions in jobs and that, and they were getting on the equal pay, equal rights and equal payment, and I've got nothing against that. I mean, if a man and woman are doing the same job, yes, they should get paid equally. I'm not saying that. But I said to them, the problem we're having, that from 1960s to now, because they're thinking I'm old school. Yes, I am old school, but you have to hear me out, I said. And they said, okay, listen, just listen to what I got to say. And I said, a woman reaches at a peak of her life, no matter if it's a job, her home, as long as she has a man she loves and respects. And it's the same as a man. Then you reach your full potential. You know what I mean, Mike? That's a little off topic. I just wanted to get it out there because okay. I think we've lost.
It's not off topic. This is Mike in the Night. We talk about all kinds of stuff here.
I think we've lost our definition of manhood and definition of womanhood. That's what. Yeah,
not my house.
No, either my house. But I think outside this home, that's what it's become. And now you have, you got the media that's going out there saying all this stuff. So they've already brainwashed us in one way. They're going to brainwash us in another. And now all of a sudden they got all this stuff. Oh, Toronto's going to go up 3.5 million. Are you kidding me?
You know what you do when that stuff comes on? You turn on like some Mickey Mouse cartoons and put that on.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, just put some Mickey Mouse.
No. I answered one of your surveys. I watch paint dry. It's even better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The View. Yeah. Would you rather watch The View or would you rather watch paint? Yeah, I'd rather watch Canadian Parliament than watch The View.
Yeah, The View. There's no view. They're trying to blind you of reality.
The View. The problem with The View is it's a bunch of wealthy women that have a different financial lens than the rest of other women, and they capture the attention of single moms who are at home, or stay-at-home moms, and they're brainwashing them to brainwash their husbands.
Yeah, just like Oprah. Same thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other thing I wanted to tell you is, so this real estate has joined now. We're seeing a dramatic housing on the markets now that are just popping up. I got one around the corner. The shingles are almost coming off, and they put it up with the big real estate. Mark Ferris is listing it, and it's listed at, I think it's just listed at $599.
Too much. It's got to be $249.
Yeah, regardless of that, and then you got houses on the other side that are going for $7. Okay,
dude, 700 large. You could buy a nice place in San Diego for under 500 large.
Mike, if you really look out here, you'll find good deals. But you won't get, like you said, you're not going to get the value what you're looking for. And I was listening to Gary Medeiros and you guys talking, and I watched the show this morning, and I just want to give a shout out to Gary Medeiros, not to give up. Listen, guys, and I tell anybody that's listening to Mike's show, owning a home is, how do you say it? To make it a really, get somebody, it's a privilege. But it's also got to be affordability. You cannot just own a home because you own a home. A definition of owning a home is not 10, 20%. I don't care anybody tells me. It's 50 to 60%. If you have a mortgage of 40% of what you bought, which it's impossible today or yesterday, but if you own 40%, less than 50%, it's not your home. The bank owns it or the lender owns it. So I don't want Gary and his wife to feel down that they got out of bids and this and that. Because I'm telling you, Mike, I already know what's going to happen. Because I know that all the unions in North America are sitting together trying to figure out a plan to get these pensions beefed up. And the only way they're doing this is going through B lenders to give the mortgages back. This is what I predict. So for them to get these mortgages out to predict and get all this money into a system so it can corrupt it even more. And that's what's happening. So now you have no more laundering money that way, but there's going to be other ways, of course, unless the government steps in. And we all know, Mike, you and I know governments are not for us. Governments are just a flawed. So unless we have a leadership that's going to change Canada in direction, and we don't have that. We don't have that anywhere, in any party. So now we have where the CPP is going to come out very soon. I'm going to tell everybody this. They're going to be coming out because banks haven't been paying high on interest at all on the money we're getting. Unions been spending money trying to put on high risk. I've been calling this for a long time, where they're putting in 10 to 12% returns, and they're actually lost that money. So, like a safe return today, I tell everybody it's between 4 to 3%. After that, you're taking high risk,
Yeah.
huge high risk. So that's been going on for 5, 6 years at least. Now you had this years that I called for, and it came true that people lost 30% of their pension.
Yeah.
Now we're still, and it's funny because the news is not bringing it up anymore. And I don't know,
the news.
And then what's happening right now is the news is hiding everything because now you have CNN, MSNC, whatever in the States, Washington Post.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know they're having massive layoffs?
Oh, well, who wants to read that left-leaning garbage,
Yeah. So now the people in the States are waking up because it's all fake news.
It's the same thing like those losers that work on the, what's that show I don't know what it's everyone got fired off it that were writing left-leaning, let's hate Trump articles. What are those guys called?
It was a woman that got fired first, right?
Oh, a whole bunch of people got fired. A whole bunch of people lost their jobs. And they can't get a job anywhere because all they did was make up crap. It was called, it's not the Young Turds. It's another one. Not the Young Turds. It's another guy. Everybody kept crying, and they made YouTube videos saying why I got fired from this and why I quit. And the smart ones or the strong ones said why I got fired, and then the weak ones were talking about why they quit. What's it called? That guys, if you know what I'm talking about, everyone's getting fired from it, and they're making these vlog videos about it and what happened with them. It was a very thing. They created these stupid polls. They created stupid polls about what guys and this and that and what Trump. How to identify a Trump. How to identify a Trump supporter at your work. It's stupid things like that,
Yeah. So. And I'm looking into something else. I'll bring you up to date probably next week or the week after. All the money that they've invested in the companies that don't exist.
BuzzFeed. It's BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
BuzzFeed. Yeah, you're right. Thank you, Supreme Cannon. BuzzFeed.
And it's and it troubles me because my in-laws are about to retire. They're retired. They have a little cleaning business, but I mean they're retired. Mm-hmm. And I'm worried about my in-laws if they're going to lose 30% of his pension. And my dad's well off because he's got everything paid for, so he's fine in that sense. But you look at the high levels of seniors that went to get ATMs out of their house, and now they can't even pay it back.
Oh, I love it. Are you over 65? Do you own your home? Oh. Well, we could give you a bunch of money, and then you can't pay it back, and we'll take it.
Yeah, or you don't have to pay it every month. So you're paying a higher interest and you're going to pay a lot more back.
Yeah.
So this is what I don't understand. And, who's ever watching this show and the people that are just still buying houses today, I don't get it, Mike. I don't get it.
Don't worry about those people. Anyway, I'm going to let you go because we've been talking already 15 minutes. I want to get a couple other people on the channel before it gets too late.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Say hi to your
wife. Keep me filled in, and the next week we'll have you on another update. Do some more of those drive arounds. Here it is, guys. The Lost Canuck, he's at 695. Let's get him up to 900 subscribers by tonight. The Lost Canuck, here's his channel, guys. I'll leave it in the link below. Don't forget to subscribe to Mario's channel, Mario DeCetis, two-time world champ, right here. Paste in the comments.
And let me get in your face. Guys, have a good night, and keep Mike informed.
Thank you so much, Mario. God bless you, okay? Say hi to your wife from me.
You too, brother. Take care, man.
Ciao.
No more hatchlings, eh? No more.
It's over. Ciao.
Okay, buddy. Ciao.
So that was Mario DeCetis from Barrie, Ontario. Really good guy. I like him a lot. We met in person. We did actually some videos together in person. Really nice guy. Really happy that he comes on the show very regularly. All right, let me try to open my Skype here. We got lots of people on Skype tonight. Holy smokes. Holy, everyone's on Skype tonight. Well, I got 52 people watching my backup channel. That's really good. Guys, I'm going to be out of backup channel jail. Apparently, according to YouTube, they're going to release my channel on March 20th. Officially, I could go live on March 20th. Officially, I could go live on the main channel, guys. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. And let's get a quick plug here. Steve the plumber really wants to tell me something, so let's get him on the show and give him let's give him 15 minutes of a plug. Let him say what he's got to say. He said he's got something. A lot of people in the comments are saying, I don't know anything about real estate. No, this is Mike in the Night, guys. People are talking about real estate, but tonight is kind of a free-for-all, open lines. I want people to talk about what's happening job-wise. I don't want to touch on what's happening with shootings and stuff. I don't want to cover that on here. There's enough people on YouTube doing that. And I'm not, I just don't want to cover something that's at a high risk that's going to, just deplatform me for talking about something or giving my opinion on something. And okay, we got I just saw God, where'd he go? Oh yeah, Hiroshi. Okay, guys, my friend Hiroshi down on the coast, my Japanese friend. You guys saw him on my channel many times. So he went to the Stefan Molyneux show, okay, and he got tickets. He was so excited to go to this thing. He messaged me day and night, Mike, you got to come to the show. I'm like, dude, I can't. My daughter's gonna be, my daughter was due on that weekend, this weekend, but she came a bit earlier. So, I mean, it's when nature calls, right? Holy Max. He was so upset. He messaged me. They canceled him. Antifa was there. Man, Antifa needs to take a shower, man, and go back to their parents' basement. Bunch of losers. Bunch of masked losers. Congrats from Brazil. We got Felipe Saca do Brasil. Que está no comentário. Muito obrigado. No, I will sound like a crazy person, says the Raven. Holy, don't talk about bad stuff. God loves you. Yeah, I know. I'm not trying to talk about bad stuff. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, right? We got Stephen Lee in the comment section, Bruce Lee's grandson. And then we got Lord Humongous here from, Lord Humongous from Denver, Colorado. We had him on the show last week. He promised me he's going to get Skype just for me. And then we got... Okay. So who do we got? Let's get STP. Let's plug him on right now and find out what's going on. Guys, tonight's show is about defaults. Defaulting all around the English-speaking world. Default hits credit risk fund returns. Let's do a couple of quick shout-outs here from Insta message on Skype here. Hey, Mike, Leroy. People call me Leroy Brown. And I love your show. I watch your show. Man, lots of blessings. Lots of hugs. Keep up the good work, Bridgen. From... Oh, he has a bunch of little emojis. From Harlem. Thank you. Take the A train to Harlem. Anyways, guys... That's from my man, Leroy, watching me in Harlem, New York. We got the Walking Journey on. Walking Journey, 2-time world champ. Who else we got on here? So I'm gonna get STP on. Hopefully he picks up his phone. I hope he's not arrested or anything.
Who the hell is this?
Yo, what's up, what's up, dog?
What's going on, Mike?
Nah, not much. Just chilling out, man. I got your message, but I was in the shower.
I didn't leave you a message. I was just calling to see if you were going live, to be honest with you, and I wanted to know what you were going to talk about.
Oh, no, no, I got your text.
Oh, okay.
It says call me back.
Oh yeah, just call me. Oh, okay, that's the message you got.
That's the message I'm talking about. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. What's going down, buddy? We got a little bit of problems coming out of India right now. A lot of, those guys that call people and say, hey, I'm a credit card company. Send me $2 to release these funds and you'll get $1 million in your bank account.
Okay. I actually haven't received any of those calls. Well, I've received calls from the CRA.
Yeah. Well, whatever, right? Well, apparently, where is it? In India. In India right now, they're tanking. Lots of people are defaulting. I don't know if they're cracking down on those because those things in India, yeah, defaults rising in India despite threat of new bankruptcy law. So India right now is in huge default. A lot of people, because that industry where they call people, hi, I am calling about you this, hi, I'm calling to send you something, but you need to pay the shipping, those kind of things, those guys are falling down. And that's actually bringing down a lot of businesses because they've been bringing in hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars per year.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's how much money they were bringing in, and it's starting to bankrupt people. Because now people just don't talk to them on the phone. So anyways, let me, so what is going on, Steve? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so I did manage to meet up with a few of my buddies, as you know, and they went over a few things. And I guess a few of the big banks all got together and talked about, as they go towards the end of this quarter, as they're flashing red, things are not looking very well. It's really, really, really bad, to the point where I'm not going to mention any banks or anything else like that. But if the recession is as bad as it could possibly be, one or more of those banks may in fact need a bailout. And when I say that, this is coming right out of people high up in lending with the banks, see the defaults happening on a daily basis. They are rising weekly, and it is not good, to the point where a lot of these houses that are being foreclosed upon, repossessed, power sales, whatever you want to call it, they're now starting to hit the market.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
There's a lot of realtors saying that Vancouver realtor thinks that housing prices will rebound soon after climbing again. So, no. The only way the prices will climb again is if they bring in more foreign investors. But there's no point anymore because they can't bring their money out of the country.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Real estate, as we know it, will no longer, unless, like you said, outside influences, for example, foreign investment comes back in droves. Real estate does not have the capacity to go up any greater than the rate of inflation.
Continue.
That is my honest to God opinion, and at this point, that's basically where we stand. There's some severe dark days ahead of us. Let's put it this way. If this recession is as bad as it can possibly be, and when I say that, I mean this recession is really, really, really takes a toll. We could actually be in for a little bit of hyperinflation, Mike.
Oh, well, we're definitely going to be in hyperinflation standby alert mode. You know why, Steve?
Tell me.
Because we're not raising interest rates. We're not. You see, Stevie, interest rates are beautiful and how they work and how they keep our economy running on autopilot, right? It's very simple. The plane starts diving, you raise interest rates. Interest rates go back up, everything levels out. But because we kept interest rates such a historically low level and other countries now are raising interest rates, we got a bit of a problem now. Because we're no longer running on autopilot. We're just doing whatever we need to do, our government needs to do, to keep this piece of crap Ponzi scheme going.
Yeah, I can. I absolutely agree with that. It's going to be interesting to see what what kind of sort of unfolds. Go ahead, Mike.
But they're going to stop. I remember at the beginning of the show, Steve, I said they're going to start. You're going to start to see the removal of ATM machines, and you're going to start to see the removal of bank branches disappearing. Not because they're not profitable, it's because they wanted to make it hard for you to exit your money out of the system.
Well, it's actually quite humorous. I had a conversation. Let's just call him Gary today, and I had told him I was in the bank. And I'm going to the U.S. next week, so I went and I asked for take out $3,000 out of my U.S. account. And the teller had said, "Do you need anything else?" And I said, "While you're there, why don't you give me $5,000, Canadian funds?" And I was joking. I might have had a serious look on my face. She said, "Well, regrettably, today we can only give you $2,000. Actually, it was $1,500." And she said, "I might be able to make an exception for $2,000, but
2,000 pesos or dollars?
$2,000. That's all that she was willing to give me on a Saturday morning."
You got to be joking.
They were limiting the amount of cash money that they could give out on a withdrawal basis at the teller.
Huh.
They blamed it on the fact that they didn't get their shipment of actual paper money.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
now that
you
could very well be true, Mike. It could very well be true, but it scared the crap out of me.
Nope, they don't want you to exit the system, Steve. And if they make it harder for you, they're going to force you to buy something if you want to exit the system. So if you have savings, either you buy something with your money and stimulate the economy, or leave it in the bank. Pulling it out won't be an option. They're going to start, I have a feeling, and I'm just throwing this out there, Steve. I'm going to be all 1984 now. They're going to start passing laws where you're going to have to start registering any silver and gold you buy now. Physical silver and gold. Because then they're going to want to know what you have in your house. So they can come and confiscate it if they need to.
Yeah, it's interesting how that gold confiscation word, and if you read about it, there's so much information on it. It's not even funny. It was a crazy time. Could it happen all over again? Yeah, I mean, if consumer confidence is at an all-time low, and they don't raise interest rates, and our dollar continues to devalue, the American dollar goes up, gold becomes less expensive, and then people, if the trade-off between the U.S. dollar, which is always the last currency to fail, and drop. I mean, I don't think we'll ever be able to go back to the gold standard, but gold will always be worth something.
Of course, but if we go into negative interest rates, gold will skyrocket.
I see where you're coming from. I doubt we'll ever see negative interest rates, Mike.
Well, Australia right now, I don't know if you saw my video, because people don't have no idea how bad it is in Australia. They have no clue. And I made this very clear. So later on with these other housing guys that just came out of nowhere, that know everything, that should have been warning people if they know everything, not to buy. But anyways, let me get back to my point. Australia is so bad, Steve, listen to me, okay? That if they go to 0% interest rate, zero, they still couldn't get out of this.
Wow.
They can't. There's no way. Unless people print money at home and go deposit in their accounts. They cannot get out of this anymore. Typical Australian, it says the average per capita is like 190, almost 200%. They're double. It's worse. Canada's 176% or something, and then New Zealand's 160 something. It's horrible to have that much indebtedness. But it's horrible per family. That's the average family. It's phenomenal, Steve. So even if Australia goes to 0% and they take a nosedive in their currency to 54 cents to the US dollar, they still couldn't pull themselves out of this.
Okay, I can see where you're going with that.
Unless they find a miracle drug that allow people to work till they're 140 years old.
Well, we all know that's not going to happen.
Right. It's either that happens and then people pay off their debt in the next 100 years, or they go to negative rates. If they go to negative rates, you're going to see a massive ripple effect go right across the financial sector. It's going to be like a tsunami.
I don't think we'll need negative interest rates to even remotely have something close to what you're describing as the tsunami. I fully expect, and I never, ever thought I would actually say this, and what I'm about to say is it's not a good thing that they're going to do this, but I honestly think we'll see a rate cut between Q3 and Q4 of 2019.
Rate hikes, you said? Sorry.
Rate cut.
Well, that's terrible because they're missing the massive equation. You know, when you're looking at an equation, Steve, you got triangle square plus delta V, blah, 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 and you have the missing equation in there that the teacher wants you to find out what the missing equation is in the algorithm. Do you know what I'm saying, Steve?
Yes.
Do you know what the missing equation is? Foreign investing! When there's no foreign investing, guess what? The Canadian proper can't pull the socks up to look sharp to keep up with the Jones. They can't do it. They don't have enough dirty money. They don't have enough money stashed away. They don't have money squirreled away. The Canadian proper is living check by check. The Australian proper, the New Zealand proper, it's the same broken record in every English-speaking country. It's the same thing, Steve. So they lower interest rates thinking it's going to create a resurgency? No. You lower interest rates on a typical $1 million mortgage, you're only going to be saving $100 and something or $200 a month. That's not enough when the price of food is going to have to go up to make up on that. And the price of gas goes up. So you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. How does that even work?
A rate cut will do nothing for this economic downturn.
But what's the missing equation, Steve?
Well, it's just what you said, Mike.
Foreign
money is, foreign money is absolutely gone. Mike, I don't want to be racist, but everyone can call me a racist. Do you want to know why we're seeing an increase right now of repossessions from my standpoint?
Yeah, go ahead, Steve. You're not racist.
Okay. I see the names that own these properties. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I see some of the holding companies that own these properties, and they're all Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what's happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. They are walking away. They are walking away because they see prices of housing, and I know you don't want to talk about housing. This is strictly default. They see, and it all ties in together, they see housing no longer an asset in Canada. Why? Because their investment's not going up, because all their buddies can't come over and pump up the market.
Yep.
They know the Canadian proper doesn't have a hope in hell of sustaining anything anything of that sort.
No, not even close. Well, we sold out our manufacturing years ago. We don't have a hope in hell for that. Anyway, Steve, negative interest rates to help create desirable yield curve. That's what's happening here. Bank of Japan continues to speak of post-monetary policy press. And they're hitting these weird inflation targets. Get ready for negative interest rates from Forbes. Next recession hits. This is coming from Forbes. Wall Street is still hung up on whether Federal Reserve will or will not raise interest rates further this year. The Fed officials and even bigger question looms. What will policymakers do when faced with the next recession? Yeah, that's the problem. What do we do? Go into double negative rate? European Central Bank re-ups negative interest rates. What's happening? It's been clear since January, quantitative tightening is not happening this year, but the ECB, first central bank developed world actually go in reserve. Policymakers also slashed the growth forecast of euro. So there's no growth in the European Union because they're forecasting negative rates. The chaos of negative interest rates. This is by The Corner. And it says, there are structural factors driving down equilibrium interest rates and global level, beginning with the demographic factor. technical progress, and also low productivity. That's it right there, low productivity. And that brings down your GDP because you're no longer producing, right? As a society, we are confronting a new historic era of low official interest rates with a downward pressure on interest rates in the medium and the long term. Part of the pressures derives from the non-traditional expansionary monetary measures applied by central banks. Remember, guys, we talked about this 2007. They artificially lowered rates. They stole your futures away to bail out the banks. And we still haven't. We've created a monster. We've created a Frankenstein, and we don't know how to control it now. And what do? We don't know what to do. So any expert out there, I don't care who they are, how experts they are in understanding all these financials and all this and economy and economics and all this stuff, they don't know. Why? Because we don't know what the government has up its sleeve. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, that was a mouthful, Mike. I tried to follow you there, and then I'm also listening to or reading the comments here. It's actually quite humorous. Anybody that thinks immigration or mass immigration is going to solve our current economic problems, well, we've already defunct that. That's not good. That's not the case. And you know what? Whatever helps you sleep at night, but that's definitely not the case. As I said before, Mike, we're going to see more than likely a rate cut between Q3 and Q4 of 2019. We're going to start to see more and more job losses. I think Air Canada is probably going to make a rather large announcement as a direct result of grounding those planes shortly. WestJet has a few. But I mean, those are nominal in the grand scheme of things. But I mean, Mike, what do you want to know? Talk to me. Ask me a question. I'll try to answer it.
I don't know, man. You tell us. Has anybody? I know you've been going through a lot of foreclosures. I know a lot of these homes have been left empty. And then I know defaults. I mean, are you seeing anything? Did you hear that story I said last week about a friend of mine that works with the graveyards of new cars?
Yes.
He's got car lots the size of Wyoming with 2016s, 2015s that never sold. And they don't want to cut back on the auto sector because they're going to lose a lot of jobs. What the heck is that?
You know what, Mike? I capitalized on some of those as well. They were selling them brand new trucks, you know, as used vehicles. In other words, no freight, no PDI, no gas tax, no air tax. And I actually updated a lot of my fleet vehicles and, you know, capitalized on that. Some days I wish I never did it, but let's hope that, you know, business continues to pump along. But I know for a fact that nobody's immune to this recession. Things will slow down. It's just a matter of time. But yeah, I totally believe it because I saw the inventory list just for the Greater Toronto area in terms of what was being allocated by, you know, Ford Canada, for example, and it was pretty scary.
You know what Buddy told me? He said, because he's just a control officer, so he controls where these vehicles go, which ones are in what lots. He doesn't do them. He doesn't buy the thousands. He doesn't do it by the vehicle, by the thousandth of vehicles. It's gotten so bad. He says if they stop making cars till 2030, those lots will be still selling those cars off those graveyard lots.
Really?
Yeah. By 2030, we'll still have cars to sell, brand new ones. They still have cars from 2014 and motorcycles and Sea-Doos and snowmobiles that are still selling, that are still on these lots, that are just sitting there for years and years, and they get this inventory gets moved around, and these lots are enormous. And if you fly over them on an airplane, you look, holy crap, look at that parking lot. It's not.
That's pretty interesting. I never, I didn't know that they were just hoarding all these vehicles.
Oh, you have no idea, Steve. He told me by 2030, they don't have to make a single car because there's so many cars right now because they don't want to affect the car production industry. And Supreme Cannon says right in the comments, the consumption machine is choking on itself. That's exactly what it's doing, Steve.
Well, that's very true. If you look at our consumption rate, it is choking. You look at our output, our output gap. That is wow. That is just alarming. I just don't understand why this recession didn't happen, you know, a year ago. I just don't understand. You know, I guess it took a while for these rate hikes to go through. You know, job losses weren't, you know, at an elevated, you know, rate. There are a number of different factors, but it's pretty much a slam dunk, Mike. We're unofficially in a recession.
Oh, buddy, we've been in a recession for a year and a half, Steve. The second that Canada put those the second that China put those capital restrictions on the movement of their money, China was losing billions of dollars a year, leaving their shores. The second they put that on, that's it. It's over. Game's over. And they could put the stress test to 0.1 or 0.5% on the stress test. It won't make a difference. People will qualify, but then people would not afford to pay for it.
Oh, for sure. In terms of their capacity to pay, I understand exactly where you're coming from there. Mm-hmm. And even not if, I firmly believe that CMHC will more than likely allow 30-year amortizations. The big one is more than likely going to be moving the maximum insured mortgage from $1 million to 1.25. If that happens, you know, we might see some upward pressure or trajectory on pricing, but it's going to be very, very, very nominal. Very nominal, because like you said, people need the capacity to pay. And Mike, you know what you need as a combined household income in order to qualify for a $1 million mortgage.
Oh yeah, we did this already with the stress test. But you know what? Let them give $1 million away again, Steve. Let them give the $1 million away again. It doesn't matter, because you know what's going to happen? You're going to have to pay it back.
That's the whole thing, Mike. I don't believe in, and Gary said it actually quite well today when I was speaking with him. He doesn't believe that a lot of these people with these $1 million mortgages are ever going to pay off these mortgages in their lifetime. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he's probably right. Kind of scary when you think about it, because every 5 years when you go to renew, the banks don't really want to renew. You know, on your current thing, that they won't, you know, if you have a 25-year term, you know, you're not renewing on a 20-year term. They're going to allow you to, you know, renew on another 25-year term. Oh, your payments are lower, so on and so forth. People are going to drink that Kool-Aid. They have been drinking it for an extended period of time. That's why we are here where we are today. Credit was just continuing to, you know, continue to give it out and give it out and give it out. And, you know, it's not good, Mike.
Sleep.
Mm-hmm. No, I hear you. It's not good. I know it's not good. We all know it's not good. But the question is, why are people so uninformed, Steve? Okay, look, Steve, I don't go do certain jobs because I don't qualify for them, right? But there's people doing these jobs that severely don't qualify for them. Why are these people taking these jobs? Misinforming people? Is it because they drank the Kool-Aid too and they believe in it and they're going with the status quo, Steve?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Like I said, they're drinking the Kool-Aid.
Here in my garage, just bought the...
Anyways.
That's exactly what's happening. You know, people can go and they can get themselves into all kinds of trouble like they already have. They can continue to, you know, kick the can down the street, leverage themselves to the hilt.
Steve My Game has said it's called refinancing. This guy talks out of his butt. Steven, not you, Steve. Steven, in the comment section, let me explain something to you, sweetheart. When you're refinancing, you're paying bank fees, and they refront load your mortgage when you refinance. Even at a lower rate, you're going to tack on more on that mortgage, and you're going to refinance. So you're going to be paying another 5-year term, and a 30-year amortization. After those 5 years are up, you've paid $1 million down to $980,000. And guess what? They're going to refinance it, and you're going to be owing, you know, pretty much the same amount of money you did, because they're going to keep refinancing, and you're going to have bank fees, and you're going to have closing costs and all that bull crap, right, Steve?
Absolutely, for sure.
You know, if they did a 10-year term and a 25-year amortization where you keep your mortgage for 10 years, after 10 years, you could pay back a good chunk of that. But they don't want to do that to you, for you. They want you to pay for 5 because you get nothing paid off because it's all front-loaded.
Yep, absolutely. That's just the way that things have gone. I think they need, you know, they're starting to put a stop to that because they see where things are at. But, I mean, Mike, when I was doubling and tripling down on my mortgage and it would come up for renewal and, you know, you work your butt off and you have, you know, some additional money you want to put down 30 or 40K upon renewal, you know, 50K, they really don't like that. They really, really don't like that. And I remember, you know, I had done the max that I could actually do. And they had called me and said that I contravened the agreement of my mortgage terms.
They could fine you for that.
They tried to penalize me for making more than what I was allowed to do on an annual basis.
So, okay, people listening to this, there's one way around that, okay, guys? You save your balloon payment on the side or your extra money on the side. Let's say you're saving an extra $100 a week towards your mortgage. That's $5,200. Let's say that's not a lot of money. Say $200 a week, that's $10,000. You want to put that on your mortgage, for example. You wait till you come up for renewal, then you put that on your mortgage, and then you renew after.
Yeah.
Or if you want to save, let's say, $100 a day, that's 36. If you got a good, you know, you could do $100 a day. That's 36,500 a year, and you save that, put it away, and then at the end of, or open a second account or a third account, and just move $100 every day into it, and then by the end of the year, that's 36,000 whatever, and then at the end of 5 years, that's $100 and something thousand, 150, 160,000 in the other 5 years. Then you put that on your mortgage, and then you refinance it.
Yeah, that's a good approach, Mike.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. I know all kinds of tips and tricks to help people pay their debt off quick in a heartbeat. Oh, yeah.
And they don't like it, Mike, and they really treat you like a second-class citizen.
You know what it is? It's because, did you see the videos I put up? My videos from 2015 predicting a crash and a 40% correction?
Yeah.
So... and all these people are coming out now with all these housing videos, housing crash, recession coming. It's like, you go back to their channel and you look at their oldest video. It's not even a year old. And they're talking about Bitcoin last year. And then they don't talk about housing until like 2 months ago. It's like, dude, if you knew anything about housing and if you knew anything about how the housing market works, you would have warned people before like I did. Steve, you knew what my position was. Don't mention it, but you knew what my position was in the finance department, right?
Absolutely.
And you know that I know, right?
I know exactly what you know and what you don't know, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a pretty sharp individual when it comes down to the inner workings of a bank.
You guys have no idea. If you guys only knew, my friends. But you know what? I like to be humble. I like to keep it simple. And yeah, I'd make the guy AMTV. I'd make him cry if he knew what I was doing in the banking sector. The guy AMTV would just look away and say, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna leave the building now." Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Banks are not your friend, Mike. And as soon as you go and you sell your house and you have, a bank account with a fairly large, balance in it, and it's the same balance day in and day out, week after week, month after month, they basically go ahead and they give you they start calling you on a weekly basis because they want you to invest that money. They want you to buy bank stocks. They want you to do certain things with your money because that all looks good on their sheets to their shareholders. And quite frankly, they'll call you like I said, every week until, you know, you capitulate or you basically tell them where to go.
Yeah. 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 Okay, Stevie, I'm going to kick you off the show. And
That's great.
I appreciate you coming on, giving us some insight on defaults. And yeah, let's get somebody else on. I appreciate you giving us the insight. We'll talk to you next week. We'll probably see you hopefully on Wednesday on Trends in the Housing Market. You might have a story for us.
Who knows? Stranger things have happened. Good to be with you, Mike. Take care.
God bless you. Good night. That was Steve the Plumber on the show as usual. Good guy. I love him very much.
This new Lamborghini here.
Yeah.
Fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. Is the real reason I keep this Lamborghini here is that it's a reminder that dreams are still possible, because it wasn't that long ago that I was in a little Lamborghini, sleeping on bookshelves in the Hollywood Hills with only $47 billion in my bank account, and only 47 Lamborghinis in my Lamborghini account, and only 47 hills in my Hollywood account, and only 47 TEDx talks where I talk about Warren Buffett's in my TEDx talks where I talk about Warren Buffett account. But you know what? Something happened that changed my life. I bumped into a Lamborghini.
He bumped into a Lamborghini. Where's that other stooge from AMTV? Let's see what he's up to. Wow, he's almost at 650.
In the name of Whole Foods and is blasting rockets into outer space.
This thing is still rolling. This Bitcoin.
These are companies like Elon Musk's Tesla that has completely revolutionized transportation.
Wow, does this guy still believe? Wow. U.S. is ready for a cyber attack. Yeah, we've been talking. People have been talking about this for the last 10 years, 15 years. We're under cyber attack every day. Anyways, Lamborghini. Okay, you freaking moon! Woo! Okay, Ric Flair, Ricky, where are you, man? The real man, the dream boy, woo! Yeah, right there. The nature boy, Ric Flair. You know why I like bringing up some wrestling memes once in a while? Because it looks more real than the crap we see on the news. Wrestling looks way more real than the crap you watch on the news. Australian mortgage defaults trigger repayment limits for Suncorp. Ooh. Windfall defaults rising in India. Asia gets tougher on auditors after high-profile defaults. Debt defaults hit credit risk. Fund returns. Defaulting on autos. But then you go, you want to be a smart guy, right? You want to go into here and you type in auto defaults in Australia. Nothing. Zero. Mortgage defaults in Australia. Zero. It's penal colony 1114. That's what it is. I'm surprised Peter's not on. Holy crap, where is Peter? I hope he's not in jail. Really hope Peter's not in a prison somewhere. Oh, we got the Raven here waving at me. Let's call the Raven. First time caller.
How's it going, Mike?
Yo, is this the Raven?
Yeah, you got him.
What's up, brother?
How's it going? Good.
You know how it is. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, I put that Skype on just for you, buddy.
I know you did, and that's why I'm calling you.
Actually, yeah, Brianna helped me put it on there.
Good. So tell us, what's on your mind, buddy? What's going on?
Well, everything. I study it all. Your friend that was talking about pensions, I study that. Housing market, everything. What do you want to talk about?
Well, tell me what's on your mind. What's keeping you up at night?
Up at night, I fear that I won't be able to unload the rest of my rental properties before the market tanks.
How many rental properties do you have?
That's right. Well, I bought 5 duplexes in 07 and 08. I rode the bubble, and I've been unloading them for the last 2 years. I sold 3, and I got 2 left to sell.
Are you still in positive territory if those 2 don't sell?
Oh yeah, and I did well. I did.
Hello. Hold on, you're cutting out. It
in,
must be
in
your
Winnipeg.
internet signal there.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. Hello? Oh, we lost him.
Are you there?
Oh, it says you have a poor network connection. Oh, okay, that's why I'm losing you.
Sorry, no.
I'm losing you. Yeah, let me call him back. I got a really poor network connection. Let me try to call the Raven back. See if he can get those properties unloaded. Maybe we can get
Sorry about that.
Yeah, don't be sorry. It's just it's the internet. You can't control it, right?
Yeah, no, I walked outside. I should have stayed in the house.
Oh, you got to stay in shelter, buddy, when you're on Skype.
Yeah, I walked outside on the deck.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. So you got 2 properties left you want to unload, and you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got to take a haircut of about 10-15% on some of them. What city is this in? Atlanta?
I'm in Winnipeg.
Oh, Winnipeg. Okay, yeah. Okay. I haven't been in Manitoba in about a year or 2. Yeah.
You know, another interesting thing is I drive trains for CN, and it's the blood of our economy watching those trains, and I can tell by just the parking lot at work how many empty parking lot spots there are, how the economy's doing, just by how many crews are running trains west and east of Winnipeg. It's a pretty strange, but it's an accurate thermometer of the economy.
Oh, brother, I'm going to tell you straight up, the way of you're gauging that is so more better than what these economists think they know.
Yeah. As for what was on my mind, I read a lot in the last couple of days, but those 4 kids who got cancer from that school with a cell phone tower, that's very disturbing. If you saw that on...
No, let me look it up. I got so much stuff come through me, man. 4 kids...
Zero Hedge.
Cell tower.
I think it was in California.
Yeah, here it is, March 13. All right, let's open her up.
You know, a cell tower is every, 10 miles, and 5G when it comes out is every 1,000 feet. That 5G, they have a hidden agenda with that. I would almost guarantee you there's a hidden agenda with 5G.
Did you watch our show a month ago about it? I had Peter on from Australia who researched it.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, so go to my channel when you get some time. Type in 5G. You'll see the shows we have on it already. We've covered. But 5G is scary. Parents say that radiation from cell phone tower on a California elementary school campus has given 4 students cancer in the last 3 years. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's disturbing.
Very disturbing.
Imagine what 5G will do.
You know, can I ask a question? Did you vote to put that tower out there?
No, no.
So then why the hell are they doing it without getting our consent first? That's the main question.
You know, how about this? How about why did they put LED streetlights in every single city without even discussing it with us, knowing that LED screws with your circadian clock, which disrupts your melatonin, which stops your reproduction? Why did we not even have a discussion if that is harmful to us or not?
Even if it's 5%, even if it's 5% true, we should not do it, and we should have had a discussion. But that sounds like it's 70% true, which is very, very shame on you to the government and their stupid agenda.
You know what? They're losing control. That's why they're clipping you guys on. They're clipping people on Facebook, on YouTube. They're gonna. You know what? I believe that a lot of the channels won't be there in a year. They're just gonna. Freedom of speech is gone. Habeas corpus is gone. It's going to be out the window because they're losing control. How else are they going to control 7.5 billion people? I believe China, Russia, and the U.S. have always been in bed together. How are you going to control 7.5 billion? You got to do it through fear. Mm-hmm. And they're losing control. And people like you on your site trying to waken people up is not what they want.
Yeah, and I talk about housing mostly. You know, we talk about things in the news. We try to keep away from shootings and stuff like that other people are already doing because it's already being done. So I don't want to get myself into any hot water, right?
Yeah, that's another thing, you have strikes, that they can give you guys?
For no reason. They stopped me from streaming on my main channel because I was talking about the Australian housing market. Yeah.
Which you're talking about cash earlier. I put cash into the system every day. I walk into Safeway, here's cash. I walk into a flea market today, here's cash. That's against their system. That guy that you had on from Barrie, Ontario.
Yep.
He's right. That guy's right. You put cash back in the system. You stop using those credit cards and those debit cards. Once they get us locked in, that's it. And then you're recorded digitally. You're recorded financially. You know what? They need a little piece of your DNA on 23andMe or whatever it is, and they can recreate you, everything you do.
Yep, they can.
I don't like it.
They can go
There's
off
no
the
more.
pattern.
There's no more freedom.
Well, they could predict too. They could even predict your patterns.
Minority Report, the movie.
Yeah.
Pre-crime. You were looking at this. We feel that in the near future you're going to commit this crime. They're not far off from that.
I know.
I like to have a little bit of a little bit of privacy. Why do they like? I'm not breaking any laws. But
what do they want to know what you're having for breakfast and what kind of underwear you buy?
Yeah.
And that's becoming a problem. And for me, I don't care. But you know what the sad part is about this dude? That if they need to exonerate you for something, let's say they needed phone records to show, they're recording your phone messages, right? Let's say you needed that in court to exonerate you to show from the cell towers or something you were nowhere near the scene. If they could exonerate you from that, they won't use that. But if they could convict you for it, they'll use it.
Yeah, convict. That college scam that just came out where the people were paying for their kids to get into. You want to know something?
Tell me.
Who cares? Yeah, who cares? Hillary Clinton and her campaign of her charity fraud is such a big crime that is just swept away over there in the corner. Nobody gives a shit about it. Mm-hmm. And yet they want to go after these people that paid to get their kid, which is a scumbag move to do because you're already rich and you're using But look at the Clintons. Look at what they did to Haiti. Look at the money that they sucked out of that.
In their defense, they spent $14,000 in Haiti. Okay.
I was over there. I was in Dominican. It's a great place. Don't go their side of the island.
No, I wasn't Dominican. I wasn't actually Santo Domingo. I was in Dominican Republic for 6 months, and I drove around the island to Puerto Plata, Mama Juana, all those places. But then I drove across to Haiti, just across the border, and I turned the car right around because I don't speak French, right? And they don't speak French. They speak like a patois. I turned my car around and I went right back to Dominican Republic. The guy's like, the guy goes to me and says, "Yeah, regresaste," and I'm like, "Yeah, I came back. I'm not going there." And he started laughing. He's like, "Go, go, go! I saw you come in."
Yeah. There's, there's too many topics to cover. Pick a topic.
Well, we're talking about defaults tonight. Do you see any of your friends, anybody defaulting on things? Auto defaults, anybody defaulting that you're seeing a pattern? You already told us about that parking lot thing, which is really good. That shows how many people are working. I'll
tell you, we are running at peak. Like the trains running across this country are massive amounts. It's running at full bore. In 2009, we had layoffs that went right across Canada for CN. That was because of the 2008 collapse, the housing collapse. Okay, we had layoffs. They reverberated through our economy a year later. That took out of Winnipeg, that took out 250 transportation employees for 6 months. In 2015, because of the Chinese stock market collapsing 45%, that took out 200 transportation employees for 6 months in 2015. I told people at work, I predict a 5-year deep layoff coming this year, later in the year, and we're going to lose half our traffic. The oil out of Alberta is helping us a lot right now. We're running a lot of oil trains. But the intermodal traffic, the double stack, the C-cans that we bring from China, it's train after train after train, and they're 10,000 feet long, and they're double stacked. And China's not going to give us free shit for the rest of our lives. That's all going to come to an end. Our trade deficit is around $600 billion a year, and they're not going to keep doing that. And I believe that you already know, I believe their country is in a lot more trouble than they say it is.
Well, because we don't know anything about their country, right? And
it's all lies.
We'll never know because it's a communist fascist dictatorship. they won't tell us what's going on in those countries. But what we could forecast from those countries, it's not good at all. So let's look at some articles. Layoff warnings jump 30%. More Californian workers targeted. Layoffs starting at autism clinics in Ontario as new autism funding gets cut. Waterloo lab affected by global layoffs. OC Transport takes back some layoff notices. Volkswagen announces thousands of layoffs. Layoff notices go in the hundreds of Oakland school workers. MPP and Fee says kids' ability layoffs. And Fifth Third announces 30 area layoffs. Fifth Third Bank. All right, continue.
It's everywhere. You know what? Store food, get silver, hold hard assets.
Okay.
People tell you you're crazy. They'll say you're crazy. Oh yeah, they've been saying this for 30 years. They've been saying this for 30 years. So I went and bought the economy books from the 80s, and I read the books in the 80s, The Coming Currency Collapse. That economist he had it right, but he thought 1985 we're going to be hyperinflating our currency. We can't go 140 billion in debt in the U.S. next year, he said in 1982. We can't do it. That's too much. He was right about everything he said, off on the timing, and he didn't see the evil tools that they could throw at it, like negative rates and everything, right?
Did you see?
Yes.
Did you see my videos from Australia? The playback of the videos I showed.
Yes.
Did you see how I was forecasting, but I was like 3 years off on everything?
Yeah. You know what? Inevitability is certain, yet not always punctual. Well, this is coming. I don't care what anyone says. It's a no-brainer.
But you said it yourself. They kept throwing those tools at it.
Yeah.
First-time home buyer loans, historically low interest rates, interest-only mortgages.
What are they going to throw at it? What are they going to throw at it next? And how will that affect us?
They can't get no more foreign investors in.
They're going to start going after our primary residences. I believe 5% at first, then 10%. They're bankrupt. The United States, Europe, China, Japan, they are bankrupt. They're insolvent. They have more liabilities than assets. They are finished. They know it, and they know that people are starting to figure it out on the internet. That's why they're clipping your channels. Public perception can drive a world crazy. They have to cap this off.
But did you see the video I did earlier? I think you commented on it. $240 trillion in debt. The world is $240 trillion US dollars in debt. And the video said, who do we owe the money to? The Decepticons? Do you remember that video I did today?
I saw a little bit of it.
Okay. But we're $240 trillion in debt. And a lot of it in the derivative markets is crazy. So right now, what we're looking at is we can't pay this back no matter what.
That's a guarantee. If people can't see that, then I don't know what they're smoking. That's obvious to me. I look at the numbers. I watched the professor of Boston University, professor of economics. His team ripped apart the American debt. 222 trillion, just American debt, counting unfunded obligations of pensions, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, unfunded payments that they have to make. They put them at 222 trillion, just United States. Who do they default on if they default? People think, oh, they default on China. They say 1.2. They default on their own people. 5 trillion Medicare, 5 trillion Medicaid, Social Security. You want to see social unrest? Get used to that word, social unrest. You know how you've heard terrorism, how they created that in 2001.
Terrorism is the new boogeyman, because before that it was the war on drugs, and then it was the war on the Cold War, and before that was World War II, you know?
Yeah. So the new word will be social unrest. You're going to see that. It's going to be rampant. You're seeing it already in France. You're seeing it.
Oh, did you see the article I brought up about France is going this really violent attacks against the police, and a lot of police now are joining the sides of the Yellow Vests?
Yeah. And why, again, are they not publicizing that? Why are they not putting it on the media?
It's on Zero Hedge.
Why don't I get to see what's happening in Fukushima? Why is Fukushima poisoning the world? Isn't that the biggest story in the planet right now? Why is it a media blackout? Public perception. This world will go nuts if too much gets out. And again, that's why they're clipping your channels.
But you know what the funny thing is? It's because there's nothing to be made off that.
I don't think you know what? I don't know what they're thinking of now.
Because when you see the news and they keep propping up the housing market, it's because they have something to gain off it.
Well, like you said, they blow up those fake asset bubbles, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Low interest rates create massive credit bubbles. We've got a massive credit bubble. We got a government debt bubble, auto loan bubble, student loan bubble. We got a real estate bubble. We got corporate debt bubble of $9 trillion in the U.S. How the hell are they going to pay that $9 trillion of corporate debt? I went to the mall tonight, St. Vital Center here in Winnipeg. They got 12 closed stores in there. Me and my brother went into Payless shoe stores. They're closing 2,100 stores. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was a madhouse in there. And I don't see signs that are saying coming soon, a new store. There's nothing coming soon.
Oh, no. You know what? They put these beautiful billboards in front of the windows and put some paintings of clowns and children shopping with their moms. And you just walk by it like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Like how they covered up the Targets. You know the Targets? You go into some malls, there's still empty Targets. So you walk in, you don't even notice there was a Target there because they boarded up so nicely. And they make it look like it's not part of the mall.
I noticed that about Sears today. I went by the Sears store. They had a big sign all the way across. It looked like part of the wall, where the doors used to be.
Yeah.
I noticed that today. Yeah, you're right.
They do a good job at that, eh? Faking shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So where do you see things headed in the summer? Summer's coming. It's supposed to be big sales in spring, and a lot of loser agents, real estate agents are forecasting a huge spring pickup. We didn't have a huge spring pickup in Australia because they went through their spring and they're at the end of their summer right now, and then nothing happened there at all. And they were predicting 10% increases, and there were people that lost were going to be in the green again. Nothing happened. What do you see happening now in this spring? You're going to see big spring sales. Consumer confidence going to come back, Raven?
I see a slow burn down, and then once some stuff starts to let go, they're going to come in with QE4. Actually, QE5. It's QE5, not 4. They did QE1, 2, Operation Twist. I don't know why they changed the name. Well, QE3. So that's 4 rounds right there. So you know what? That's 4 of what they told us. They never stopped QE. They're pumping 50 to 100 billion out the back door a month. The U.S. That's bullshit that they can run without QE. It's a continuous program. Mm-hmm. They wrote a paper in the 50s about quantitative easing, about printing money. The guy actually won a Nobel Peace Prize for that paper. When you start printing money, print as much as you can, run your economy as hard as you can, get your infrastructure built, get your bridges, your roads, and then collapse the monetary system. It's the only way out. Yep. There's no way. Printing money is the same as jumping off a 100-story burning building. Sure, you're fine at the start, but you know where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
There's no way out. Because the debts of an economy grow quicker than the economy. The debts grow quicker. So
did you see that thing with the snake eating its own tail in that circle?
That's what I always say to people. It's a snake eating its own tail. Yeah, but I never saw that. No.
Well, it's a book that was written in the snake eating its tail. It's this one here. It was a book written about this and how the economy starts reconsuming on itself and trying to. And it just doesn't, let me see, economy book. Let's see if the book comes up. There's a PDF for it. I want to see if I can find it for you guys. There's an economy book. Snake eating its tail. Oh, the toe capitalism, break the code. I think this is it. Hold on. Let's see if this is the PDF. No, I don't know what the, yeah, it's this thing here. Snake eating its own tail. It's the capitalism, how it works with an economy and currency, and serpent eating its own tail. The first known appearance of the Ouroboros is the enigmatic book of the New World of the ancient blah blah blah. Biting its own tail symbolizes eternity and the soul of the world. No, it's something else. I gotta find that book for you guys. It was Andrew Baker, the economist down in Australia, actually sent me that book PDF. It's only 16 or 22 pages long, but it's really good. And I'm going to find it, and I'm going to put it up on my channel there in my for you guys to see. So we got our man Raven, who's always in the comments section here from Winnipeg. So do you see, Winnipeg, when I went through Winnipeg, I just found it, some parts, I went through those underground tunnels where the subway or underground tunnels there underneath those main streets and by the stadium there, I think.
It's downtown.
Yeah, I've been down there quite a bit, actually, and I just find it scary at times, like kind of like unsafe. Is that just me or what is it?
You know what? There was a guy shot last week down there. That was our 8th homicide of the year. They say we're on par for 42 this year. That's another thing I was going to say. You talked about shopping carts getting pushed by. You can hear people with shopping carts. In Winnipeg, in the last 2 years, I never met anybody who had been using meth. Our city it's an epidemic. They're walking up my back lanes. They're looking in my garbage can. There's violent crimes now, and it's all part of the disintegration process. I believe that's happening. Weighs more on the budgets of the cities, and it just drags down. There's just so much dragging. I'm very gloomy. Doom and gloom. It's a lot of doom and gloom.
But you're seeing it with your own eyes. You're not making it up.
Yeah. No, it's the theft. Like I talk to people here, and they tell me like they work at Shoppers, and every 7th person that walks in is stealing stuff. They're grabbing stuff. They're bringing in knapsacks. They're just because they got to get their meth, And now it's fentanyl. I hear people talking about fentanyl. It's horrific in this city. It's everybody, all these squeegee people on every corner of every street, and I talk to them, and they're all on meth. They say everyone down here is on meth. They're all on meth. I actually bought a place out of the city, so in the spring I'm actually moving out of Winnipeg. I don't think cities are going to be a good place to live in the next 5 years.
So you're like me. I left Vancouver and moved to a small town, and I'm happy as hell.
Yeah. Well, God's country, eh?
Yeah, oh yeah. Mountains, fresh water.
We can't afford to live up there.
20 degrees next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice weather. Yeah, oh yeah. We have 4 seasons here. You guys have 2. You guys have winter and humidity and
mosquitoes.
Then winter. Huh?
Winter and mosquitoes.
Yeah. Yeah, here we have a spring.
But then,
I'm going to be planting my flowers next week, first week of spring. I'm going to be doing stuff here. It's going to be like 19 on Monday, Tuesday. It's going to be beautiful. So,
yeah,
that's why I got out of. I used to live in Ontario when I was a kid, and I got out of there when I finished high school a couple of years after. Man, I lived in Mexico for 2 years. I couldn't stand this whole not getting anywhere in life and seeing it and not doing nothing about it and can't really do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But. Yeah. Anyways, well, I really appreciate you calling in and giving us your insights. We'll have you on very soon. If you want to be on the housing show on Wednesday, let me know. We'll have you on and we could talk about properties in the area. Are they dropping? What's happening in Winnipeg area? What have you heard? Are there? Let's ask you. Are you guys getting affected? Are you because you're in Winnipeg? Are you guys getting affected in there from the migrants coming from America? Because a lot of people with the open borders. Are you seeing any of that or?
You know what? Our closest border is Emerson, and there was a story about a guy who walked across and got frostbite and lost his fingers due to frostbite. There was a couple little rogue stories like that, but people don't normally make their destination Winnipeg. I don't know why we end up here, but it's like you hear a little bit about Syrians and helping out Syrians and getting housing for. I don't think there's a lot of it here. Not like you guys or Ontario. No, not as much.
Okay.
And you know what? As far as our housing market goes, we're more of like a steady keel. We don't get the big, huge price swings that other people get. When you guys got that 15% land transfer tax put on you in BC, I said right away, Toronto's next. Oh, yeah. And then a couple months later, it hit Toronto. That was a no-brainer, though. Anybody could have guessed that. And then I figured the overflow would come through the prairie provinces and hold our prices up for a year or two at maybe 2-3% up a little bit just from the overflow, because a lot of people don't want to pay an extra $150,000 on $1 million property, in tax.
But the problem is that what we're buying, who's going to want to pay the land? That's what's been propping our economies for the long time, and that's what's been funding our deficits for our cities. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and I've said this before, you're going to start seeing a city tax come into play. So if you're living, for example, in Winnipeg proper, in downtown Winnipeg, you're going to have your federal tax, you're going to have your provincial tax for the province, and then you're going to have the Winnipeg city tax, like 2 or 3% goods and services.
Yeah.
They're going to add that
tax. Yeah. We're some of the heaviest taxed people in the country.
Yeah. Oh, we're one of the highest tax countries on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to get worse. They're bankrupt. What are they going to do?
Well, how are these cities going to keep up those deficits? How are they going to pay their buses? Are they going to privatize it to other companies?
It's going down. The shit's going down.
But they're not talking about garbage pickup once a month.
Yeah, I'm looking at the big picture of China. That's the one I watch, and I think that is going to wipe us all out. That's the one that's going to take us out. We're not going to be. It's just too big, and I think they're full of shit with what's going on over there. They have too much dark money, shadow banking, all kinds of hidden
laundering.
Cash. I think what a $90 trillion credit market. And they lie about everything. I think that China. Look at the housing there. That the developers are slashing 10%, and then the people are going and throwing bricks through their windows of the developer's office.
Yep, I covered that story. Remember?
Yeah, I did. I read 64 million vacant condos. And nobody lives in them. Look at those ghost cities.
I don't think I spoke to my friend Evan in Hong Kong, and he told me you can't even live in them. You can't. They're not livable. They were just built for investment purposes.
That's just bizarre. Like they quadrupled their debt since 2008. People say China's going to take over. I think China's going down the toilet too.
Yeah, China, right? But China's smart. Can I tell you what they're doing that's right? They're selling off U.S. treasuries and they're buying gold with it.
Yeah, but that's only a little bit of money. That's in the big picture for them. I think that's like, what else are you going to buy? These guys they're dealing with hundreds of billions of dollars. What can you buy? Mm-hmm. They own chunks of our country, of the U.S. They're all over the place. They're flooding Africa. Mm-hmm. They're looking for resources. But I just think they're too deep. They got no money. They're too deep. And you know what they worry about? Their own country overtaking the Communist Party. They got, 1.38 billion people? Yep. 66% of their stock market, people who invest don't even have grade 12. I was reading a lot in 215 about China when their stock market started to collapse. Mm-hmm. You know, they start pulling billionaires into the back room and beating the shit out of them. That's the kind of country that is.
Yep.
But I've heard anywhere from their GDP 900%. Debt to GDP, it's probably around 300.
So I've heard multiply everything by 3, what you're telling me, and that's what it is, because we don't know, and we only get a little bit of the little sniff of what we know. Because remember, they don't share anything with us.
Yeah, but see, I used to know an economist who worked at the Bank of Canada, and he worked in the Hong Kong division. And you know what? Those guys don't know. He reads his dot graphs, his dot plots, the Phillips curve. He follows his own thing. His mind doesn't go beyond, like, they call us conspiracy theorists, right? We're not. We're critical thinkers. We peel back the layer of the onion. We want to get to the root, like the truth of it, right? The CIA brought up the conspiracy theorists in the 60s when people started asking questions about who killed John F. Kennedy.
Right. They were labeled as conspiracy theorists on the spot, but no one knew what that word meant, because now we know what the word means. Because now when you go against the status quo, you're a conspiracy theorist, period. Now you're a racist. Screw conspiracy theorists. You're a racist now.
Yeah, but what did the meaning term conspiracy theorist? It just makes you feel like crap just to hear it, right? Mm-hmm. It's not. You're a critical thinker. And that's all the people who watch your channel, the majority of them are probably critical thinkers, and they're very rare. Those people are very, very rare. For every 1,500 or 2,500 sheep that you got out there chewing grass in the field, you got maybe one critical thinker. Those are the people that are going to keep eye and watch on what's going on and figure that shit out for the people who can't muster up enough brain cells to figure it out, you know?
Yep. There's always got to be someone to lead, right? And, well, it's not that I think we're all we just want the best for everybody. That's all we want. We're not asking, you know, to change water into wine. We're you know, they're making us seem like they're connecting the wrong dots and making us seem like we're out there to try to take over or overthrow a government. We're not. You know, we need governing in our lives for my bus. Oh, I don't have a bus, but the bus, our subway. I don't want a private sector company to run I want our government to run certain facilities and public libraries. I don't want no private sector company to pick up our garbage. I pay my taxes. I want the government to come and bring its cronies to pick up my garbage. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
But I don't want the government to tell me what kind of music to listen to. I don't want the government to tell me what I can and can't say. I don't want the government to tell me how to dress. You know?
That's coming. Yeah, freedom of speech. Not anymore.
Well, once you lose the freedom of speech, you lose religion, right?
Well, one of the first clues to we were losing freedom of speech here in Canada is when they made those anti-Islamic laws. Those where like people who I believe it's true. Like it should be, but where if you say something bad, then it's like a hate speech. It's like it clipped certain opinions that people had. It was a anti-Islamic. You can't say anything bad about the Quran, or there's certain things that I don't know the exact rule of the law of it, but I remember that when they came out with that law, anti-Islamophobia or whatever they called it.
Oh, they make up words every week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They make up our vocabulary has extended. Like we have Al Qaeda, we have ISIS, ISIL, we have Taliban, we have all this stuff for the week.
Yeah, ISIS is Langley, CIA, Langley directed, Langley funded, and Langley operated. ISIS. That's American ISIS. John McCain.
Yep.
Yeah. They fund the rebels. They do all that.
Well, they always did.
And
they funded the Afghani freedom fighters in 1981 against the Russian invaders.
Yeah, and if we were in charge, we would have done the same thing.
Well, James Bond was there. Remember in that movie? From Russia with
which one?
I can't remember which one it was, but he was in Afghanistan in that one episode, and they're like, oh, these guys are backed by these are Afghani freedom fighters. They're fighting off the Russians, and that was in the whole James Bond movie. I can't remember which one it was. If you guys don't, put it in the comment section which one I'm talking about, so I don't sound delusional. Yeah.
I work with people from Iraq, Afghanistan, India, Pakistan. They're all good people. They just want to work and live a job. You know?
My ex-wife was from Afghanistan. She was born and raised in Kabul, but they were westernized, right?
Yeah.
The video I put up, Afghanistan 1972 to 74.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
I couldn't believe it.
My ex-wife was part of that, and her father was part of that, right? So they were part of that, and they wanted to continue that lifestyle, so that's why they came to Canada.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Hopefully continue.
Okay, Mr.
I bought a lake house. I was going to tell you, I bought a lake house 80 miles away from the city.
Dude, can you report for the Mike Martin's channel once in a while and then send me the video and I'll upload it saying, you'll say, hey guys, Raven here for the Mike. You don't have to show yourself. You can just show what you're doing.
Do I get a $50 gift certificate?
And then you go, hey guys, Raven here. I'm over here at the lake house I just picked up. I'm just going to show you guys the view here. Blah, 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 and I got out of the city, blah, blah, blah. Or you could do a drive-by on some streets and show us how many houses are for sale, stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what? I actually said that just down the street here. I see price reduced on a couple of the houses. It says price reduced. I always watch for those signs.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to say, hey guys, Raven here for the Mike Martin's channel, reporting in Winnipeg. Just outside here, a couple of price reduced here. Just want to show you guys what's going on in the Manitoba area. Man, I would love you. Man, we're best friends forever, man.
Okay. We'll do something for you.
Well, I'm going to kick you off, and I'm going to try and see if I can get someone else on before I hit the hay.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Sorry for ranting there. So
no,
much.
don't. That's part of Mike in the Night. It's all about what's going on and what's on your mind and what's keeping you up at night.
Okay, take care.
Okay, God bless you. Bye. That's the Raven, my friends, from Winnipeg. So we got another caller that we could call in. So we're gonna get people. We're gonna get a lot of people. Terry Broderick says all whites are leaving the cities. Yeah, it's called white flight. I've been covering it for ages. White flight's a big deal. Full armor of God. Mr. E has level 85 armor, by the way. A couple of Lamborghinis here. What's going on with these Lamborghinis?
And another Lamborghini. A few more Lamborghinis. I found 5 Lamborghinis. I don't call it money anymore. I call it fuel units. You must have enough fuel units. You must have enough Lamborghinis. You must
construct additional pylons.
Yeah, Lamborghinis. Where's the nature boy? Where are you, nature boy? Woo! What did I cover today, guys? What did I cover on my channel? Here's Evan. How are you, Evan?
I am good, Mr. Mike. How are you?
I'm okay. You're a little bit staticky.
Staticky? Hold on. How staticky am I now?
You sound perfect. You sounded like you were on top of the CN Tower, just ready to jump.
That's usually where I am, Mike.
Yes. All right. Before we got Evan here from Hong Kong. Before we kick it off, let's go over some of the videos I did today and recap real quick here. Mike Martin's channel. I did a couple of stuff that people were talking about in the comments section. Here they are. Housing crisis, trends in the housing market. Where is it? 45 billion owned by foreign investors just in Vancouver. 45 billion. Sydney, Melbourne condos from 2016 and 2017 that still haven't been completed and they're just sitting there. And Evan Ray took a snapshot.
I don't know
Australian
why I did, Mike. I must have pressed the wrong button.
What's that?
I must have pressed the wrong button, Mike.
Ah, it looks cute.
You know me, all about the conspiracies.
Mm-hmm.
Getting you documented for the New World Order, Mike.
Yeah, yeah. So I got someone, I told you this, Evan, that's someone that backed up my videos from like years ago.
There's always someone, Mike.
I was so surprised. Look at this video. Sydney, Vancouver housing crash, 47% by 2016. This was in the summer of 2015.
Oh, yes. Yeah, but they didn't. Did they get everything? They got most of it, right?
But my question to you, Evan, is how come these guys that are now coming out that did Bitcoin for 5 years now are talking about the housing crisis or did other stuff, and then they're talking about the housing crisis, and all of a sudden, for the last 6 months, but where were these people warning people not to buy if they knew it was no good?
I can tell you, Mike, where they were. They were on another bandwagon. That's where they were.
Yes! Yes! That's exactly what it was. They were on another bandwagon. I've been sticking to my guns. You know I'm Johnny on the spot when it comes to ammo and when it comes to sticking to my guns, right, Evan?
I know it, Mike. I know it. You are very consistent. That is true.
So that's good. That was the bandwagon they jumped on.
Well, it's the bandwagon brigade, Mike. It's not just one person. They're all copying each other. It's very unoriginal. You know, one gets the, million view idea and then everyone jumps on it. Just look at the new film that came out, Mike, Captain Marvel. Everyone's trying to get a piece of the revenue dollar with that. They're all saying the same thing, consensus by opinion, no fact required. Usually how they work it, Mike.
Evan, it's scaring the crap out of me where we're headed. It's really scaring me. And there's one book that talks about this, and it's called the Bible. And we're not talking about symbolically telling us. It's telling us what's going to happen.
It's not symbolism like Jordan Peterson would like you to believe, Mike. Mm-hmm. With him and his heretical views, just look at 2 Timothy chapter 4 for him, There will come a time when men will not listen to sound doctrine and will gather teachers to them that will tickle their ears, and the truth of God will be turned into mythology. That's the Jordan Petersons that are, springing up everywhere to lead you astray. And Revelation is fast approaching, as it always is. and always does. And it seems to be that time is speeding up. I don't know if you've noticed. Usually scandals took years. Now they're instantaneous.
Oh, yeah. You notice how when people get egg on their face, they just wipe it off and continue and smile like nothing happened?
Well, that's the... yes, they giggle and smile, don't they, Mike? He, they say. I burnt your house down. He, they say, you know. That's usually what a lot of Weasley-type people do. They don't want any responsibility, but they want all the power that goes with it, you know?
Okay. Let me, I got some good news, guys, for everybody watching. I'm going to make this announcement. Well, there's two announcements. First announcement, I'm going to be out of YouTube jail on March 20. So I'll be streaming on the main channel back again. So I want to let people know that. I'm going to make a couple of posts on the community, and I'll do a couple other things. And I'm trying to work to put together a chat room so we could actually chat, and because a lot of people like chatting on here even hours after I'm done my transmission. So what we could do is create a chat room, and then you could use your handle that you use, and you could even put your photo, and then it could be a private chat.
Discord, Mike.
Huh?
Might be worth using Discord as long as no one actually posts any images, because the current terms of use on Discord are such that whatever you post on there, they claim intellectual property on. So don't post anything unique or intellectual property-wise, or they'll say it's theirs.
So if I put a picture of a turd up there every day, a different turd, and call it the young turds?
Hey, are they your turds, Mike? Because then they'll take the rights off you. You'll be without your turd rights, Mike. What are you going to do?
Yeah, no, I hear you. Okay, so let's look at this.
Mike.
So this is the event of tonight. Very good news. I'm very thrilled to bring this up. I hope you're ready for this.
Okay.
Vancouver students join worldwide school walkouts to call for climate change action. Oh my God, they've done it. They've solved climate change.
Have they, by walking? Suppose that takes a bit of the burden off public transport, doesn't it?
Exactly. These people save the world. I think if it wasn't for these people walking out and getting out there, we'd probably be on fire right now.
Well, I think Florida would be like 10,000 leagues under the sea, and we'd be talking through our snorkels, wouldn't we, Mike?
Oh, you better believe it.
All that global warming. Oh, wait, sorry, they've rebranded it climate change. And later they'll rebrand it, if you're not one of us, you're going to lose your social credit. You're going to not be able to get a loan. You're an undesirable. You are unpersoned officially. That will be later down the track.
Can I tell you what's later down the track, sweetheart?
Oh, there's a lot of things, Mike.
Oh, they're going to start imprisoning off-gridders.
At least. There'll be more than that.
If you're off-grid and you're living the dream and you got your solar panels, you got your well, you're living the life, you're not paying anything to the tax man, but you pay maybe a little bit of property tax for them to pick up your garbage, guess what? If you're off-grid or you're living off-grid, they're going to find you and they're going to put you in prison.
They will. I mean, and it won't be hard to do because you're still technically on the grid via IP addresses. You'd have to go totally off the grid and live in the Siberian tundra. I think that's where Peter is at the moment. At the moment, he's stacking his gold bars out in the tundra, maybe, with a few maple trees. But it's going to get bad, Mike. But you know what you do? No matter how bad it gets, you know that this isn't the end. So everyone wants to clamber for the get-rich-quick scheme, don't they? They want their money now. They want their 400,000 Lamborghinis in the Hollywood Hills, don't they?
Yeah, I want to put that one back up.
Sure, good idea, Mike.
Not this chooch. Not this chooch here. That's AMTV. Hold on. The other chooch right here.
It's like the Buffett Warren billionaire says, the more you earn, the more you drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. In fact, the real reason I keep this Lamborghini here is that it's a reminder that dreams are still possible, because it wasn't that long ago that I was in a little Lamborghini.
He was in a little Lamborghini not long ago. Yeah.
On a bookshelf in the Hollywood Hills.
Yep. Yeah. And in Warren Buffett books. So this guy's running this Bitcoin scam thing here on AMTV still.
These are companies like Google.
Is it still a Bitcoin scam, though?
Well, no, I'm not saying it's a scam. I'm not saying Bitcoin is a scam at all.
I mean, is it just a Bitcoin scam? Because he's saying, give me your money, which isn't Bitcoin.
He's got the survival stuff. Those survival gear and stuff.
Oh yes. How do
Yeah,
you
the
plug your
survival
USB
bug
into
out
a
bags.
tree?
There's going to be a solar flare, buy your bug out bag. There's going to be, here it is, shut down, the government shut down, buy your 84 servings of emergency food, buy a bottle of water from us, you know, things like that.
That's good. I wonder if anyone knows how to cook these days, Mike. All this food, why isn't it cooking itself? I don't understand. You know?
And you know what they're going to do too?
I
I got to start writing these predictions down. They're going to make us off grid with food where we have to go out and eat now that there's going to be nowhere to buy food anymore. You just have to, you want donuts and coffee, you go to the donut shop and buy it. You want a sandwich, you go to the sandwich shop and buy it, and it's going to be filled with crap.
That's well, they make it so difficult. This is just in Australia. Hong Kong, similar sort of situation, because it is a worldwide problem. They're making it more convenient, slightly cheaper, just slightly, just enough that you don't want to put the effort in and learn to cook for yourself. Of course, I cook all the time. I was once a chef, and I cook for my family because otherwise I have to eat my wife's cooking. But you know, people are going to have to learn to do things by themselves. I mean, right now, just to give Ibenko his wish, we are developing a book system so that people can self-teach, our computer system too, self-teach themselves English. And then we can walk away and say, you know what you're doing now. That's the role of a teacher, right? Once you know what you're doing, we are here when you need us. Now go out there and save the day. But if you look at the educational system or the food system or any other system, they want total dependence. They never want you to escape. They want total control.
So they're going to want to put us like basically on every system possible, whether it's food, whether it's banking, whether it's currency, whether it's a universal.
Well, think about it this way, Mike. They've privatized everything so that when something goes wrong, or they jack up the water price, oh, sorry, it's out of our hands. Do you know in Australia right now, they're planning on what was they saying? A lease/sale of all the electrical poles and wires, 49%. So then you'll have a private company that won't maintain the electrical wires. And then you won't even have an electrical grid, will you?
No.
No. And then you've got water. That's another pretty important thing. And you're not allowed to collect your own water because you might hurt the earth somehow.
Do you see us going to war with over water in the next? We got a population of 7 billion. They supposedly say. I don't think they could even prove that, but they're saying that 7 billion people. Do you think we're going to get into water wars in the next 50 years, Evan?
I wouldn't say just water. It'd be resource wars for sure, but I don't think they'll use that. What they want to do is collect everyone in cities where they can manage them, right? And then you'll have, programs that incentivize people to not live anymore and or not breed anymore, like they've already got. And then they're going to slowly whittle down the population to your Georgia Guidestone sort of levels. I don't think they even need a catastrophe to do it. They've taken all the work away from the country areas. If you're off-grid, they'll just crank the taxes up. They'll say, there's no one living here except you, therefore you must pay all the taxes. By the pen, they will enslave you into debt. That is what they want. They want
let me bring up the Georgia Guidestones here real quick for people that don't know about the Georgia Guidestones here. I don't want to go to Wikipedia. It's full of crap. Let me find something else here.
Should be able to find
Georgia Guidestones. I've been to Georgia many times. I think I've been to almost every city in Georgia.
The devil went down to Georgia, Mike.
Isn't that a song?
That is a song.
All right, it wants me to disable my ad blocker. Go to hell. So this is the American Stonehenge. It's called the Georgia Guidestone. Some rich guy, some guy with a bit of money threw these stones up there, and it's been attracting a lot of attention with people passing through. And on a barren field in Georgia, United States, 5 granite slabs in a star pattern. Each of them weighs over 20 tons, and on the top of them there is capstone. Nobody knows who built it. No, they know who built it. It's some guy. They know who he was. He owned that land, or why they were placed there.
What a
But the
mystery,
popular
Mike.
opinion that their purpose is to guide humanity after a predicted post-apocalyptic event that will come in the not-so-distant future. The huge blocks send a message out to the world. So here it is. I'm going to tell you what these stones say, okay? These like commandments here. Maintain humanity under 500 million people.
Yes.
Right? Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties, and prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And then be not a cancer on the earth, leave room for nature, leave room for nature. So that's what the Georgia Guidestones are saying.
Did you hear God? Was God written anywhere there, or was it all about pantheism, nature worship? Which one was it, Mike? Was it the God of the Bible, or was it worship nature, worship the creation, not the creator? That's what it sounded like to me, perhaps.
Yeah.
Kill everyone because we need more room for trees, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's saying. That's exactly what it's trying to say there. But they're trying to get people to resolve their issues internally and set up a world court. But we have a world court. Isn't that the United
internal if
Nations?
They've got an overarching external court? That's my question.
But isn't the UN the world court right now? Or considered to be?
Well, there are two courts. UN has, the Human Rights Council, and then they have the War Council, more or less, which are basically the same thing, because they seem to work together to kill people. But yes, it's we've already got that. It's just that they haven't really announced it, and it's not de facto yet. You need to convince people slowly of these things, through movies, injunction, indoctrination. You have to do it that way. Get all your needles, Mike. Watch all your TV, Mike. Take all this medicine, Mike. You just gotta, because if you don't, you're crazy. That fella before, he's pretty switched on. He knows the score, but he should be a bit more positive, I think. Never give up. Never think it's the end of the world.
Next time I go through Georgia, I'm gonna actually do a video of these guidestones. I'll go check it out, like a video. I didn't see back in the day. I didn't make videos. I just go check things out on my own, and didn't really think that anybody cared what I had to say back in the day. A majority of people don't care anyway. But I'm just saying, like, here they are, the Georgia Guidestones off 77. I remember going here too.
Well, watch out for Black Hawk helicopters next time you go, Mike. Remember Black Hawk helicopters used to be a thing? They'd swoop over and the government pretended they didn't exist, and yet they had all the flight routes and everything. And they'd be swooping people's houses. Yeah,
I know. Oh, what about those, what do you call those things when they have those military, Christ, what's it called? When they got those things where they do those military drills.
Like a FEMA drill, is that what you're saying?
Those military drills are saying, oh, yeah, we're going to, those helicopters you saw, yeah, we're just doing some drills, and there's all these people jumping out of helicopters. Yes. Huh?
That's right. Don't mind the lights in the sky. We're doing drills. Yeah. Nothing to see here. Oh, you videotaped it? Well, you're in trouble now, friend. Suddenly, it's not a drill anymore. You're in jail. What do they say? The rule of law is tooth and claw, and everything else is folly. They tend to follow that rule quite well. A bunch of thugs from the pits of hell. See, that rhymed, Mike. I gave a bit of poetry to Mike in the Night today.
Yeah, poetry's good. Poetry on Mike in the Night is good because it keeps us on our toes. Here it is. Here's the Guidestones cap. That's when they threw that cap on there because the Guidestones didn't look... They were just standing there, so they got to put a cap on it. That's originally when it was being structured.
Yes.
They threw that cap on. That wasn't part of it. They just added it because they were afraid that would fall on somebody.
Well, the UN headquarters has some interesting rocks too. They have the meditation prayer room where they pray to the, essentially the unknown God with a big black stone. And these are your world leaders, not a single Christian amongst them.
There's the UN prayer room right here. I'm looking at it right now.
Yes, it is. Big black rock. Where else do they pray to a big black rock, Mike?
Could it be that one in Ireland where they stole from the the Scottish stole from the British? And
you don't mean the Blarney Stone, do you?
That's the what?
You don't mean the Blarney Stone, do you?
That's the one. Yeah, the Blarney Stone.
No, not the one I'm thinking of, Mike. A bit bigger. Actually, the stone's not very big, but the big black cube they circle's rather large. Starts with an M, ends with an a.k.a.
Oh, Mecca.
Ah.
That's right.
They do have a fetish for these big black rocks sometimes, don't they?
Interesting. I never thought of it that way.
Mm.
Yeah, they got a little bit of art on the wall there, and there's the UN praying room.
Well, the art on the wall is a phoenix rising from the ashes, very Masonic symbolism there, and you've got the murder and death on the right and the happy, diverse people on the left. It's quite interesting. Then you've got the Denver airport. That's got a nice mural on it. You got the stormtrooper with a sword stabbing a dove, the symbol of peace.
Oh, it kind of reminds me of when I was in the Colorado airport.
Yeah, Denver, Colorado airport.
Yeah,
that's
I was there, and I saw all this crap everywhere. It was scary, man.
Oh, it's not a good feeling looking at that picture.
The murals, yeah, these ones. Look, yeah, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. This one, like with a lady holding a baby and everyone standing around in a funeral and there's fires everywhere. This is some pretty scary stuff. If you got some time, look at the murals. Look at this. Guy swooping in with a machete. All these children dead.
Yep, nothing biblical about it. That's their religion, Mike. Or it wouldn't be there, Anything that's propped up, generally nothing to do with Christianity. They are very anti-truth, these people. Mm-hmm. And that's why Western civilization continues to decline. It went from Christian nations to post-Christian nations. And look how quick it's gone down the tubes.
Once you remove Christianity from the scene, it's over. Everything starts falling apart. That's these Western countries were built off Christian values, right?
That's right. Look how they grew. And then once the, parasites get in, look how quick they fall.
Yeah.
I mean, what is a nation? A nation is people. It's not geographic borders. So, they misuse the term, don't they, when they say nation. But the nations are always trying to be destroyed. That's a biblical thing. Satan's trying to destroy the nations. And yet, at the end of Revelations, the nations are still there. So I guess he won't succeed. Mm-hmm. Don't you worry, Mike.
You know what? I'm not worried because I have my level 85 armor. Holy armor on, and I have nothing.
Was it socketed there, Mike? Was it socketed?
Oh, it doesn't need to be socketed. It's all blessed.
Already blessed. You're all right then. Mm-hmm. But you got to put on the full armor of God, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
You know what? I'm not worried. Honestly, I'm because I know myself in my heart where I stand and where things are going to go. I'm not worried.
Well, that's the key, Mike. But then you can't just hold it, because then you have the parable of the man investing, and he took the money, buried it, and then he was the one, of course, in the wrong because he did nothing with what he was told to invest. He simply buried it. So you've got to be out there, Mike, like you are now, telling the truth. Don't be scared of these liars. You tell the truth to a liar, they wilt and die. Don't you worry. They shrivel up. They've got nothing against the truth. When they're arguing emotionally, just say, hey, you're arguing emotionally. You are not actually arguing. Your point is invalid. And they'll say, but I have an opinion. And then you say to them, hold on. If you have an opinion, you still have to back it up with some sort of reason. You can't just say it, or it's pure nonsense. That's Aristotle for you. But these people are postmodern, aren't they? So it's anything goes, no objective reality allowed. Only cool kids allowed in here.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wanted to say something. I totally forgot. It just flucked out the brain. It was something good. I wanted to bring up. Actually, I don't know why I forgot it. I totally forgot it. It was a good thing.
But if you stop thinking about it, Mike, you'll remember it.
Yeah, if I stop thinking about it, yeah. It was something to do with... Oh, yeah. Okay, let me tell you this. This is really bizarro. I got an email from YouTube talking about checking out the top topics to talk about on YouTube and what's trending and what's big and what YouTube creators are doing to gain more views and blah, 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 right? So I'm not a bandwagoner like those other guys are. They just jump on the bandwagon and just follow what the new trend is, right?
That's right.
I just kind of pretty much stick to my guns and, you know, just like that. I have no reason to bandwagon on anything, right? So they sent a list of what top videos and what's being, you know, that they should trend towards.
Trending. That's right.
And you know what they said? They had Bigfoot in there, chupacabras, was it Bigfoot, chupacabra, alien stuff? They had all kinds of stuff that people should be talking about on YouTube to gain more views.
That's right. Any distraction but the truth, Mike. That's what they want. Anything but the truth. You can talk about pouring gravy down the front of your pants. I bet that was on the list. But I'm sure anything to do with the truth was not on the list, Mike.
No. Because they were saying that Bigfoot, like they were showing how many views Bigfoot videos got in the last 10 years, for example. They were talking about how many views Chupacabra got, how many views, but they don't mention global warming. They don't mention JFK. They don't mention anything.
All government stuff at all, Mike. I bet Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton were not on the list. Any high-level politician who needs to be examined carefully, I bet they're all off the list, even though, for sure, that's trending. What they want to do is incentivize you to just make rubbish videos. And if you looked at that YouTube Rewind video, they were saying this is what's hot on YouTube. Look at all these YouTube personalities.
Yeah, if you go here,
look at these heartless, soulless zombies.
Like if you go to YouTube here, I'm going to go to, this is my handheld junkie, so this is my backup channel. So if you go to here, and then, hold on, how do you go to what's trending here? I don't even remember how to do it. Trending. Okay, you go to trending. I don't even look at trending. Well, let's see what's trending here. I saved my gay friend with a kiss. 5 foods you're eating wrong. Model Y unveil. Some soccer crap. And then physics last week tonight. Duke versus North Carolina. It is March Madness. I'm not going to say nothing about that. Then New Zealand mass shooting, of course, is up there. But it's only by organized media, though. It's not...
Well, they banned people from releasing the video. It's like with the ISIS video, if you remember the beheading, the first one. The second one was even funnier. But the first one, because people caught on so quickly, you had the green screen flicker in and out. You could tell by the gamma levels. You could adjust the gamma levels to see it was a green screen and the reflection, of course, off the studio lights. But in addition, when they cut his head off, allegedly, because you don't actually, he gets out his butter knife. It's all buttery, ready to go. And he starts cutting at the jawline. And then it fades to black and he kind of conceals it. You don't see any cutting. No. And then it fades to black and then you get this mannequin lying on the floor with its neck missing. So that means they cut his head off and then they went, whoops, we forgot the neck. Chop, chop, chop. There we go. Perfectly cut neck. You
know what kind of sword you need? You need something from the Galgatherian Mountains made with specific Hologonesian steel with tears of angels that blessed it to cut a head off that clean.
That's right. And to turn it to plastic also is pretty impressive as well.
Oh, that comes from the hydronical wells where you get...
Well, it's like the Midas touch, but for plastic, I guess, Mike. You know, Midas touch turns things to gold. I would have preferred that, wouldn't you? Then at least you can smelt the body down and make some gold bars. Peter would like that.
Peter, I wonder where you haven't seen him in the comments all night. I'm scared. I gotta call him. Okay, look, I got another one here. Okay, stop the press. Who is that? Well, stop the press. Stop the press. Stop the press. It's this one here, guys. That's it. We're done as humanity. We're done. We've saved humanity. Best girly sleepover.
Oh, there we go. All our prayers have been answered.
Yep. Letting a homeless dog pick its first meal.
That sounds like something very useful that would allow you to survive the coming apocalypse, Mike.
Shaq tries hot sauce.
A building that can eat things. That's very nice. Unless we're talking about Shaquille O'Neal. I'd prefer seeing a Shaq eating some hot sauce, to be honest, Mike.
Let's see what else we have here. Queer Eyes Antoni Porowski tries to keep up with professional chef.
Mm-hmm.
The iconic dollar pizza slice. There's nothing here that talks about anything. Well, we got the Moss shooting and a couple other stuff, but we don't have anything here relevant to severe. I guess that's what's trending, I guess. But remember, they could tweak whatever number they want to whatever they want people to think is trending.
Well, they're telling you what to think. That's what they want. And then they say, hey, Mike, you know what's trending? Homosexuals cooking with chefs. You've got to get on that right away. Imagine the ad revenue.
Or talking about Bigfoot. They said there's more Bigfoot videos, discussion, or views on YouTube. It was Bigfoot and Chupacabra was up there, and so was...
no, but you're thinking too small, Mike. What you do is you instead of doing the homosexual, right, you get a homosexual Chupacabra, Bigfoot, to have a chef competition. Imagine the ad revenue.
Holy smokes!
I know, I'm thinking ahead of the curve.
Holy Max!
That's
guys,
right.
you
That
gotta
should be
watch
the
out.
title of your next video.
Yeah. You guys gotta watch out for people, truth guys or truth people or truthers or people that are like what we're doing here, right? You have to watch out for those people who occasionally go on mainstream media.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because they have an actual contract with me. Because I turned down many years ago. There was a mainstream media that actually wanted me to come on and cover housing to do a 1 minute or 2 minute plug once a week.
Those contracts,
like 3 years
Mike.
ago.
Those
and I
contracts,
turned them down because there was so much stuff that I couldn't do on YouTube.
And you couldn't say on YouTube. Certain words are in the contract that you're not allowed to say if you sign it.
Yep, and I said, nope, I'm a free man, and I want to die free.
That's right. And then YouTube said, well, hold on, Mike. Where's that video about the homosexual Bigfoot? What's going on, Mike?
Yeah.
Sorry, demonetized. That's the way it is, Mike. They can only bully with their petty power. But when push comes to shove, they have no power, really. All they have is your compliance. If they can get you to do the work for them, why would they ever have to do anything?
Yeah.
The well-meaning idiots are what prop them up. And all you need is some feel-good music, bit of acoustic guitar, and a smile or two with a, upper sort of downward panning camera while you're meditating near the beach as the sun's rising, and you'll be a popular star too, Mike.
I got AA commented over here on my channel. Isn't this supposed to be a handheld video games review channel? Yeah.
Well, we've been talking about the gay Bigfoot video game.
But it is a
cooking with gay Bigfoot.
But it is a video game review channel. It'll go back to normal status on the 20th. I'll be out of YouTube jail unless they find a video I made 5 years ago that's going to look like it's hate speech when it's not even there.
Which it probably will. I mean, if they get you once, Mike, they've got excuse to do it twice. So we'll just have to see what they do, right?
Well, we'll see if I get out of jail on the 20th, and then I'll go live on that day to celebrate.
Well, you got to roll a double, Mike, to get out of jail, or you got to pay the $50. So which one do you want to do? Probably keep rolling doubles.
The 20th is on a Wednesday, so we're gonna do trends. Hopefully, if my channel lets me stream, I'll be on the main channel doing trends in the housing market on the. Yeah, I'll be back. And then this video game review channel will just stay there, and I'll upload videos from time to time on there, and let that one grow over time.
Well, it'll grow in different ways.
Yeah.
For different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, but this one here, see, with this one here, it's like a speakeasy. They don't know we're talking about all this crap, but when someone from YouTube goes and checks it out, they don't see anything here but video game reviews, right?
Well, that's right. But the only problem is it's all well and good until you got a traitor in your ranks, Mike. One of those vindictive people may tip them off. That's our only worry at the moment. So far, you've been under the radar. But with that big red and white series of concentric circles attached to your back, Mike, the target's there because you're speaking the truth.
But it's scary. I'm not scared. It's scary that people would think like that. Or it's like if you see my featured channels on this video game channel, look, it's Boogie, Review Tech, it's all video game. That's why I don't subscribe. That's why I don't subscribe to anybody else's YouTube channels on this one, so it stays as video games always, right?
Yes.
So it looks like the algorithm shows I'm only subscribed to video game channels on here.
That's right. Boogie needs your views, Mike.
That's right. But it's good. I like this little thing. I like doing things like this. It's a hobby. It's fun. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not like you make $1 million squillion of bitcoins off it, is it, Mike?
No.
Or BitConnects, for that matter. You'd be earning infinity BitConnects right now. You know that?
Hey.
Well, infinity BitConnects, you know?
Okay, what would you rather have? 1 million Bolivaries from Venezuela or 1 million BitConnect?
If I had Bolivian bolivars, I'd probably feel a bit better about it. But yeah, Venezuela, I don't know if you've looked into it a bit further, but you've got the journalists and the anti-journalists, and they're taking videos next to each other. One of them saying, "Oh, look, they can't even afford toothpaste." And then standing right next to him, "Look at this pile of toothpaste." Pretty funny, you know.
Woo!
Whatever's on the screen is what people believe, Mike. That's the sad part.
I got Supreme Cannon saying, "Gay chupacabras pouring gravy down Shaq's pants will be the hit of 2020."
You forgot Gay Bigfoot. You need one more. Gay Bigfoot watching on as it happened. Yeah, there you go. Every tag you could
The Raven said it's 16.5 million Bolivaries to buy a chicken. Forget it. I'd take the million BitConnect and probably get $3 from it.
Well, you'd earn $4,000, of which then you would earn $400 remaining, and then you'd get $4 of that remaining, and you've made a total profit of you've lost all your money, and your wife left you.
Hey! I gotta play this guy. What's up? BitConnect. Oh, Lamborghini.
Sleeping on bookshelves in the Hollywood Hills with only $47 billion in my bank account, and only 47 Lamborghinis in my Lamborghini account, and only 47 hills in my Hollywood account, and only 47.
Hey, everybody. My name is Carlos Matos.
Nobody cares.
And I am coming from New York City, New York.
Nobody cares.
Let me tell you guys that I am so excited.
So what?
I'm so happy. I am really so thrilled to be right now sharing this amazing, glorious, super and exciting moment of my life with all of you guys. And let me tell you,
if this is an exciting moment of his life, this guy hasn't done anything.
That we are really
he's
changing
famous.
the world as we know it. The world is not anymore the way it used to be.
Where do you think he got that money for that suit?
Well, it was the profit from that $4,000 he lost. I had a thought, Mike. I had a thought. Seeing we didn't touch on the Kiwi land issue that's ongoing at the moment. Now, I'm couching it in certain language so the bots don't pick it up. But whenever you have a Nerf gun going off, right, and it's international news for a week straight, and the first thing they do is take your Nerf guns away, and, what would you say? Limit your speech and censor your social media sites. You've got to ask the question, it seemed to work in the government's interest, did it not? Just so, in case anyone was asking about Kiwi land.
Remember what happened? Mao took the guns and Stalin took the guns, right?
That's right. Well, in Tasmania, you had Port Arthur massacre where this certified retard shot people in the head at impossible speeds with pinpoint accuracy firing from the hip. And on top of that, the gun showed up in Melbourne. It was seized in Melbourne, but he's in Tasmania. I don't know if you've ever looked at a map, Mike, but Melbourne and Tasmania are quite a distance.
Someone that was going to call out one of the Clintons, and he died in the forest by suicide by 4 gunshots in the back.
In the back? Oh, it's usually in the head twice. That's usually their favorite. Shotgun to the head twice.
No, this guy got shot back in the back 4 times in the forest in Little Rock, Arkansas.
He was probably practicing his yoga, and he forgot to put the safety on his gun. That's what I think, Mike. That's the only explanation that would make sense. Or maybe a gay chupacabra got him and then poured gravy on him. Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe
it depends. It depends.
No. It does. But when you tend to say, I've got this big secret, and you don't tell people, then you're finished, you know. You usually get killed. There was the Russian mob boss. There was a Swedish nightclub owner who got shot in the head. He was going to rat out Putin. The Russian mob were going to rat out Putin. They all ended up dead. Americans always end up dead.
The guy that invented RT was found dead of a suicide. He took like 39 pills in a hotel in Manhattan.
Oh, yes. Wonder how he fit them all in there. One after the other, I guess. Of all the pills. Wonder what kind of pills they were.
Multi-million dollar $10 to million, company, and it's gaining ground in the U.S. and other countries, and he decides to off himself.
That's right. You know, oh, everything's going great. Guess I better kill myself. Makes perfect sense to me, Mike.
Who was the guy that got robbed and they didn't even steal his wallet, but he was going to call out something on the Clintons, too, in New York or something?
There's been too many. If you look at, like, Clinton scandal, you just get this long shopping list. It's no shortage of them. Although, I mean, Hillary Clinton should be rather intelligent because she was a national merit, wasn't she, in America, which means she has to be of a certain intellectual standard, at least back then. And they get to, you know, organ harvest and feed off infants to sustain their youth, like Ginsburg still is, if she's alive at all, and Greenspan's still alive, you know. All these bankers seem to stay alive, don't they?
Yeah, you know that Patrick Hernandez born to be alive.
Yeah. It's the way, Mike. That's the winning team in their mind.
Speaking of winning team,
and let me tell you that I am actually earning around $1,400 on an everyday basis, 7 days a week. What? I am right now independently, financially independently. I am saying to so many people who said that this was going to be a con artist game.
The con artist game.
This was going to be a scammer game. Hey, you're going to lose all your money. My wife still doesn't believe in me.
His wife still doesn't believe in him, dude.
Even now?
And well, how BitConnect pulled out the biggest exit scheme in cryptocurrency. Wow. Wow. I got to bring that up once in a while to help people out. To know that there's a Lamborghini in the Hollywood Hills.
That's right. A reminder.
Well, I mean, with all pyramid schemes, which are, you know, in America, they're pretty touchy about that. If you accuse someone of being a pyramid scheme, you know, they'll immediately try and sue you because it's illegal in America to have a pyramid scheme, yet there are so many of them.
Because it wasn't that long
ago.
One
does wonder how you can have...
Well, do you see how the Indian economy is going down and people are filing for bankruptcy because they're cracking down on those telemarketers that call you for a $2 fee on your credit card so they could release your $10,000 in funds?
Well, that's one thing, and then the increase in foreign transfer fees would be the other. You know, that would cut in a lot to their deal. Because they, you know, with credit cards and whatnot, there's been a lot of shifting around of fees lately. I don't know if you've noticed, they don't really talk about it. But transferring money overseas, very difficult from Australia, UK, or anywhere now. They're putting all these clamps on getting your money out, and next will be clamps on getting you out. Suddenly, passport control will say, papers, please.
Or you're not allowed to board this flight because you have a Class B passport.
That's right. You're not, you know, you don't have the Class LBGT LMNP passport, right? Therefore, no credit score for you. And when they go cashless, that's what they'll try and use to control you. But there are other ways, Mike. I mean, if it all goes downhill, there's always another way.
Well, it's land of the free, home of the slave, my friend.
That's right. Debt is slavery, and everyone seems to want to get into it real quick. I just got to buy that toaster. I've just got to buy my next meal. I better take a mortgage out on my Happy Meal I've just purchased with credit. That's what people do.
Idaho Mans is saying, Mike, just wear a strap on and bang the guy in the garage beside his cars. It's like, dude, really?
I'm not sure what relevance that had to all my funny jokes, to be honest.
It has lots of relevance because it has a lot to do with the Wookiee, that the gay Wookiee that was found on that planet.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yes. Well, I'd be curious to know what Star Wars is going to do next, Mike. I mean, they ruined everything. They milked that cow to death. What's the next cow that's going to be milked to death? Or will they just remake everything and then start all over again? How many Spider-Mans have we had? Like 400 Spider-Man?
I know. Why don't they just keep the saga going and just leave it?
No, because the most iconic scenes are all they care about. You got to see Batman's parents dying another 100 times before you get to see anything else. You know,
disgusting.
Everything. It is, and that's what they tend to bank on.
With only $47 billion in
decadence and the decay. And you look at films now; they go for like 400. You know, you go into a film, and when you come out, the sun's set. You know, that sort of is the length of films these days, and they're padded and padded and padded with all this symbolism, all this propaganda, and all this backmasking audio, which makes you emotional and you don't know why. That's why when you go into a movie theater, the sound is very important for them. They emphasize that at the beginning. You're listening to the thing that's going to warp your mind. Television does it too, Mike. Flicker rate.
So here's
Idaho
Man's. He's got no content, and the channel's probably created a couple of hours ago. And
he must be your next door neighbor again, Mike.
No,
I mean,
it's
not your
from
next
Garcia Street here, from where I got guys in the background here checking things out for me. It's coming on Garcia Street here. It's actually coming from Merritt.
Oh, that fella, yeah. No surprise, Mike. You are a popular man. I don't know if you know.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how much your handheld junkie has grown. The problem is these people will level threats against you. A lot of them are very cowardly, though, because you know they never actually do anything, but they hope that the threat of violence is enough that you will, you know, kowtow to their demands. And what do they say? What did George Bush say, Mike? Never negotiate with terrorists.
Yep. That's what he said.
That's right. He did. And he said, you're either with us, who I wouldn't want to be with, or you're with the terrorists.
Let me go to my channel. Guys, if you guys want to watch something and the amount of harassment I've been getting in this in this town that I moved to.
There's a whole series.
There's a whole series. It's called right here, Merit Harassment. I was so pissed off I was going to close my store. And, it's great. We break down here, who is Mary Gilroy?
YouTubers. Mike Martin's here.
But we read all the screenshots of what he's been messaging. Part 6, who is Alfred?
Hello, YouTubers.
I think you should do a Where Are They Now, Mike. That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, where are they now?
Or This Is Your Life, and you bring the big book with you. Go meet them where they are.
Mm-hmm.
See if they match the pictures. I doubt they do.
Yeah, Small Town Drama is a really good series. You guys should honestly check this series out. Who is Diane Bronson? What does Diane Bronson want with me and my messaging my pregnant wife? And, well, messaging before she was pregnant, too. Like, what do you want, Diane Bronson? You know, I gave Diane Bronson my address to come and see me. Same thing with Mary Gilroy. What do these people want from me? These people don't exist, you know?
That's right. Well, they do. One of them exists. It's like we've got an army of Kev bots to protect this your YouTube channel now. He's
guys,
very
I'm
good
leaving
at
the link below
guard.
here for you guys to watch the series. It's an entire series. Watch it if you're bored. It's almost like To Catch a Vandal, eh?
Yes, yes. Oh, well, another thing you could do is you could put them all together, or you could even do the stream thing that people do, Mike, where you have them cycling. That might be an idea. Just have them cycling forever. What will happen next? Oh, Diane Bronson's back. Oh, no, she's gone. Oh, she's back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That might work.
Alfred
Imagine
is
the
one of my
super
favorite
chats,
ones.
Mike.
Alfred, I love Alfred. Alfred's the best.
Well, you took time off looking after Bruce Wayne to, you know, go and harass you, so it's all right.
Anyways. Okay, Evan, I gotta let you go. I gotta go to sleep, man. I'm tired.
That's the ticket, Mike. We'll carry on next time, no doubt.
Yeah, I'll talk to you through the week. I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of Peter. I'm worried. He's always tuning into my show. I hope the
He might be upset, Mike. He might have got a Tetris with his gold bars.
Well, no, I'm saying, well, yeah, no, I'm saying I hope he's okay because he always tunes into my show, and I'm kind of.
I'd say he's around, Mike. I just haven't heard from him for a while either, but he was here last week, wasn't
Yeah, he was. But usually he's here. Like, he doesn't miss you know. Anyways.
Miss a beat. Oh, well. Well, maybe we can inquire, and that'll be our next episode. The search for... what would it be? Mike in the Night 2. Mike in the Night 3, search for Peter Oetzinger. That'd be good.
Desperately Seeking Peter.
Oh, that's another good title. We'll have to figure it out and add a gay Bigfoot in there just for good measure.
Yeah, just put Bigfoot in there and we get more views, you know, and a purple cat flying around every once in a while.
That's right. We'll give him a funny name, like Snarf or something, but that's Thundercats. I guess you can't use Snarf, Mike. You got to think of a funnier name.
We'll figure something out. Okay, Evan, thanks so much. God bless. We'll speak through the week.
Pleasure, Mike.
Okay. That was our man, Evan, from Hong Kong, who is a regular on the show and our truth analyst on the show, if you want to get really technical with it. And I kind of want to pick his brain on what's happening in New Zealand and not with the housing crisis, but we don't want to do it here on our channel. I do have the people and the resources to actually really create really good conversation with some of these guys here on our channel. But it's just going to shut me down. So what's the point? I'm not going to fight what's the point? They're just gone. Like a light switch. Yeah. Good night, everybody. If you want to support the channel, share some videos that I have. Go on my main channel. Share
YouTubers,
a video.
Mike Martin's here. Mike Martin's channel. Bringing you another installment of the harassment segment. We're going to be breaking down every single persona or person.
Hey, YouTubers! Who Murray Gilroy is. I'm calling out Murray Gilroy right now, 1938 Quilchina in Merritt. Come down and see me. I got $100. I have a $100 gift card. Come down and see me. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Lots of love. Thanks for watching.